listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Let's get this thing going. Let's get this party. Let's get this party started up in here. Let's get this party started. Tony B, welcome you to another edition. I'd encourage you to go read the blog over at tclub.team. I lay out my what I think's going on with the Tony Vitello situation as best I can. And just one caveat to the Tony Vols thing, which I don't really want to get into today on the air because there's really not much to talk about. Till he either takes that thing or doesn't take that thing, which I'm not sure it's 100% that he's going to take it. And I'm not sure it's 100% he's not. So happy Monday to you and me and everybody. But I do think Tennessee left the door open for him to kind of look around and, I don't know if there's a right time for something like that, but it feels like it might be a decent time to do that. But you can go read about it over at tclub.team today. I'm not going to get into it. Again, or TonyBasilio.com, whichever way you want to get there. And more power to you if you do that. But in the meantime, I want to introduce Bino Jeff Henderson as we do on these Mondays. A little bit about me. We were up till... I don't know, 3:15 on Sunday, doing your Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction, and that's why I look like this. And Bino Jeff, I welcome you in against the backdrop that, man, that was a close football game till it wasn't. And boy, this Tennessee team, man, when they go on the road, Bino Jeff, they just don't make things easy on themselves, being Star, do they? As we would all attest to. Nothing easy with these guys, Bino, as I bring you in.
Well, good morning, Tony. I know you had a busy, but I hope it was a blessed weekend, other than the outcome of the Tennessee-Alabama game. So don't go anywhere because my part of this is going to be short but not sweet. Just a mistake-marred performance in most areas. Start with offense, which shot every toe off of both feet throughout the course of the night. False starts, legal formations, blocking DBs on balls thrown beyond the line of scrimmage, drop passes, snapping the ball with joy, walking up toward the line of scrimmage to give some instructions. Once again, failing to get points after a huge takeaway at midfield that could put us right back in the game, right down to Joey's devastating play at the end of the first half. And all of that short-circuited what, if you just look at statistics, was a pretty productive offensive day. But from a yardage standpoint, but that's not what's up on the scoreboard. The defense, with all their warts, actually gave us a chance to win a huge game if the offense hadn't just been ultra self-destructive. But still, at that, you surrender a 91 and a 99-yard touchdown drive, and then the latter is probably demonstrated some of the worst tackling we've seen all year long. And once again, gave up 4 touchdowns in 4 Alabama trips inside the red zone, which is something that absolutely needs to be fixed. In summary, it's just an ugly, mistake-prone, undisciplined, non-complimentary performance at the worst of times. And took a game that we had an opportunity to win and turned it into a 17-point loss. And, yeah, you're right, Tony. The next step here, a couple of things here. If we're going to take that next step, and Josh Heupel's brought us closer and closer to that in 4.5 years here. We're pretty much competitive with everyone that we play now. If we're going to take that next step, then a couple of things we absolutely have to do. We have to become a more disciplined team and program. And we've absolutely got to find a way to overcome our kind of Jekyll and Hyde tendencies as far as performance is concerned at home and on the road, because we obviously, as most teams do, but we have a pretty large performance gap between home and road, larger than you can and compete for championships.
Yeah, it's News Sentinel's asking today if he's the James Franklin, if he's Tennessee's James Franklin. Again, I don't know how fair that is, but that's, it's what people are talking about. I stayed on the show the other night because Will Heflin reached out to me and said, "Hey, you're pretty neutral the other night." Here's my thing. I heard from an angry fan base that expected to win at Alabama. Bino, you and I never expected to win. We were talking Friday. I didn't expect to win that game because I think Alabama's got the best team in the league, and I don't think we have the best team in the league. I've been saying all year I don't know that we're going to the playoffs. And the reason I don't know that we're going to the playoffs is I just don't think that we do enough things well consistently enough over 60 minutes to win some of these games that we're going to have to win. And I'm speaking of when you get on the field with an Oklahoma, even though they're not great, they're very good defensively. You can't shoot yourself in the foot. When you go on the road, I don't care who Florida has coaching. Obviously, it's not going to be Sunbelt Billy. We wish him well. He's Funbelt Billy today, because if somebody wrote me a check like that in failure money and had to get it to me within 30 days, that would be Funbelt time for me. I'd take my family on a nice exotic vacation, and I'd move away from here. And you can find me if you want to go there. Little Dudek, Finnegan and Kruger for you. And so I think about those things. I also think about just the concept of expectations. Look, Joey Aguilar's a nice player, Bino, but eventually, he's going to make mistakes in these games. Like, people were on him in the post game, and they were saying, "How come you're not getting on him?" I mean, look, in a lot of ways, he's breathed life into our season. If it makes you feel better, jumping on him, kill him today. I don't, go online and kill the guy. I don't care. Crush him. To me, and the reason I stayed out of the way on the Garza-Law fifth quarter fan reaction and just took calls and was pretty unopinionated, is that I wasn't expecting to win. And you know what, Bino, watching the game the other night, it never crossed my mind that we were going to win that football game the other night. Did it cross your mind, Bino, that we were winning? It never crossed my mind.
Well, as early in the second, I didn't think there was any way to overcome the play at the end of the first half. I was uplifted by our response early in the second half.
Yeah.
Both defensively and offensively, to get back in that game. It wasn't, I saw Georgia make a similar play at Neyland Stadium. I don't know the year, but we were going in and they knocked the ball loose and ran it back 99 yards or so for a touchdown.
2002.
And
yeah.
We didn't respond at all in the second half. I thought this team actually came out with a pretty good response in the second half.
Yep.
I did think, as I watched the game at points, that we had a chance to win. And I guess my disappointment was I didn't think it would be a game where we robbed ourselves of a chance to win with just countless self-destructive crap, which we did.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where my disappointment was. No, I didn't expect to win down there. But I expected it to be more about Alabama being better than us rather than what I saw, which was us being real bad to us.
The thing I believe about Alabama coming into that game is the thing I still believe about them, which is this. They're going to take a team like Tennessee that has a propensity to self-destruct, and they're going to let them self-destruct. They're going to take a team like Georgia that has a propensity to self-destruct and let them self-destruct.
Yeah.
Alabama feeds off your mistakes. They don't look flashy or great in anything they do. They have a team that has struggles running the ball. They have a team that struggles stopping the run. For some reason, Bino, we just decided we weren't going to run the ball on them, and we didn't use the kid from Carnes, who was the hot hand. Look, I don't mind rotating backs. It's great. I would have thought that they would have taken this team and they would have found the hot hand. The hot hand was him the other night. He was, if they would have given him the ball, they were going to have a big night running the ball. And I see why it really angered people. You know, I see why we had so many angry calls. But here's the thing about Josh Heupel football. It's just mistake prone. It just is what it is. It didn't surprise me. I mean, this team, that's what they do. That's what, and particularly this group, this team here. I mean, we talked about it last week ad nauseum. This is a group that, when they're at home, playing in front of their home crowd, is committing false start penalties, countless false start penalties. I mean, when they're playing air, which is to say Arkansas's defense. It didn't surprise me the other night. That's why I didn't pick them. I can't with a straight face pick you to win a game like that when we basically have a team that can't get out of its own way in key times on either side of the ball. But yet we have a nice team, so we do enough, Bino, to kind of hang around. And to your point, we did enough in the third quarter, came out and showed some guts. Got them off the field, went down the field and scored, got a turnover. But what happened, Bino, after we get that turnover at midfield? What happened there?
I believe that was the sequence with we moved the ball down, Tony, and I believe that was the sequence with the snap.
That's
when
right.
Joey's walking up toward the line of scrimmage.
Exactly
I think.
Right. They got off the field.
I don't ever rewatch a game, Tony, so it all runs together.
Well, they got off the field, and then because of their own volition, not because Alabama stopped them, they just got off the field. They stopped themselves, and then they punt the ball to the 1 yard line, and Alabama goes down the field and scores. Because Alabama drove the length of field basically twice on us.
Yeah.
And look, the first play, here's the difference in the game. This is why I didn't trust us. You got this Ty Simpson guy who our fans just don't want to give credit to, I guess because he's from here, or we recruited, and, his father, they didn't want to come to play here, and now he's got a brother that's a sophomore, and we're going to have to deal with that because I think he's probably going to end up at Alabama. Though at least the way McElroy was talking on television here, right? You talk about a reason to turn down the freaking TV.
To use the mute button.
Yeah, to hit the mute button. But I was proud of the way our kids played the other night. I mean, they played pretty much to the level of what we've seen from this team so far, and they didn't quit in the game, and it just didn't shock me. Look, it was a winnable game, but Matt said it Thursday, and Matt doesn't say things for his health. Tennessee was going to have to play as well or actually better than they've played all year if they were going to win that game. And Matt was right. You pin them early in the game. You've got a 3rd and 13. And this Simpson guy just kind of keeps his feet moving in the end zone. And he pops out to the right, and there's nothing out there. And he comes back to the left. And we're not getting any pressure on him. And he's just sort of sitting back there. And he kind of steps up, and he finds a guy in the middle of the field. And Orange Throat wrote today, and he's right. That first series just sort of set the tone. Our 3 and out and them doing that just kind of set the tone for what was to come. It was a night where it was like Charlie Brown in the football. when you're about to just get back into the game, I'll pull the football away from you. That's how it felt to me. But we'll take calls. 865-200-5402. So what I want to know is, what do you know about the Vols coming out of that game? What are our lessons learned? And then on the Tony Vitello thing, look, we're going to sit here and wait and see what happens. I reported today at tclub.team that Donde Plowman got involved in it over the weekend. Went over the AD's head, her AD's head, because she realizes the importance of keeping this guy here, and let's work something out. You stay, and we're all going to, let you do you. I believe that. I reported that today. Go read it at tclub.team, and that's what I'm going to say about it. 865-200. And by the way, what I wrote, you're not going to read anywhere else. You're just not. But the Giants have come a-calling on him at a perfect time. Now, there's reporting out there today that he's not the Giants' first choice. The Giants' first choice is Nick Hundley, who turned a job down, apparently, according to reporting, because he didn't think it was the right opportunity. He's got a young family, etc. So Tony Vitello is, and I just call it like it is, he's kind of a nut job, but he's our nut job. And Bino, do you have any thoughts on what I wrote today in terms of Tony before we take a timeout and then get some calls in?
Not so much on what was wrote, Tony, about the possible reasons, but I do have, like everyone, I hope Tony remains here. I think he's the best. I think he's the best coach in any sport of my lifetime at the University of Tennessee. The best program builder of anyone in my lifetime at the University of Tennessee. I'm extremely hopeful that he stays, because I believe he's a guy that raises the level of everything around him. And I think he's raised the level of other sports here in his time here based on what he's done. That being said, I think he would be making a huge mistake if he leaves, because I think the two things that Tony does better than anyone else is roster construction and eliciting trust and performance and respect out of his roster. If he goes to the major league level, he's got no control over the roster management, zero. And I do not believe that he will elicit the same type of response out of Major League Baseball players that he does out of college kids, because those guys are different and they respect their own little clique, and Tony's never been a part of that clique. I think he would lose his two basic strengths. And the other thing is, if Danny White is indeed a big part of this, I don't care what major league organization he goes to, he's got to deal with 5 Danny Whites, not one.
It's pretty well put. So we take a brief timeout, continue with more on the other side after this.
Are you searching for a great local coffee? I'm Billy with Grade A Grounds. You can buy our freshly roasted coffee online and support a good cause with every sip. Great coffee, greater causes. Visit our website today, gradeagrounds.com.
You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land? Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage, pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving, and between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up, a tire designed for doers, a tire that's going to last, like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776. Or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Fall has officially arrived, so now is the perfect time to make sure your home's heating and HVAC system is ready for the season ahead. Don't ignore the warning signs that your heating or cooling system is struggling or nearing the end of its lifespan. And if you need fast, reliable HVAC repairs, seasonal preventative maintenance, or want to invest in a new, high-efficiency system, then call the trusted HVAC experts at Pipe Wrench Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Whatever HVAC problems you encounter, our certified technicians will make a full assessment and then provide the best long-term solution to keep your home comfortable again all year long. We make it easy with free on-site estimates for replacements and free second opinions on repairs. And if budgets are tight, we offer flexible payment plans including 0% financing with credit approval. Be sure to ask about our 10-plus year warranties that are 2 times longer than industry standards so you don't spend a cent on unexpected costs in the future. So call Pipe Wrench at 865-264-8090 or book online at pipewrench.com to schedule your appointment today. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore is the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
865-200-5402. Fan Run Radioing with you to William Pattison. Coming up here in about 90. We'll go to the phones at 865-200-5402. By the way, no Josh Heupel's press conference today simply because I love him. I'm for him. I'm not against him, but he doesn't say anything. So, and people, our numbers seem to say that people like us taking phone calls. Bino, you're not offended by that, are you? I mean, if he
not in the least, Tony.
I mean, if he said things, he got some hay, I'd be all about it. He doesn't say anything. So we'll just continue to take calls.
You know, I grew up at Y12, Tony. I'll take a break whenever you want me to take a break, but I'm not offended by that.
Interesting. 865-200-5402. If you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, and go to the phones. I want your thoughts on what we saw over the weekend. And look, we live in a world where this is how crazy the world is. Sunbelt Billy didn't even get through the month of October. Florida State's 0-4. Miami was a 2-touchdown favorite in their building with Louisville on Friday night. I got back from playing the winery at Seven Springs, which is a beautiful, beautiful little gem up in the Plainview area, and just a beautiful place in the holler up there. So kudos to them. And hey, listen, come home at night, and you talk about a stinkeroo. Miami might be locked out of their championship game now, which would mean the ACC, if Miami continues to win, or even if Miami goes 10-2, Miami's going to get in with a 10-2 record. They have a win over Notre Dame. And they beat that Central Florida team that's going to the playoffs. Weird year in college football. weird year. How about Vanderbilt? Before we go to the phones, Bino. We wake up in a world, Beanstar, where Vanderbilt is are they a legitimate playoff contender, Bino, or are they a cute football story right now? What are they?
No, I think they're a legitimate contender, Tony. I think they're a good football team.
Could they win here?
Yes, they could win here.
They smashed that LSU bunch.
As long as Pavia is physically able at that point of the year. Yes, they could absolutely win.
Like
here.
if the game was tomorrow, it would scare the hell out of me, the level he's playing.
Yeah.
He was magical the other day, like doing magical things against a pretty good defense. Let's go to the phones, and we'll get our next call, and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys, it's Z-Man. How are y'all?
Buddy. Welcome in.
Hey, Z.
I haven't called much this year. I've just been busy or I couldn't get in.
Yeah, man.
But I think what really is irritating to me, Tony, about Josh Heupel, and I would like to throw out a clarion call for Matt to do the numbers on our offensive production minus 2022, because I think that's the exception, not the rule, and our defensive numbers minus 2024, because I believe that's the exception as well and not the rule that we've seen here, and actually see where we are. But I think what really bothers me about Josh Heupel is we know he's going to have a mistake, or he's not going to have a mistake-free football team. I don't think there is many mistake-free football teams out there, but we tend to make mistakes at crucial times that really just put us in a bad spot. I think what really bothers me, and I would like to get your all's take on this, is I don't see Heupel do anything to try to steal possessions or points. It's like we go to Alabama or we go on the road to certain places, and it's just like we're just going to line up and we're just going to play football because we believe we have so much, either we believe our athletes are as superior, if not more superior. But, guys, we don't run any trick plays on offense, none anymore. I mean, at all. I don't think he's ever ran an onside kick, a fake punt. Like, I don't see us going to any of these places on the road in the SEC where you need to, or you get yourself down, your team makes some bad mistakes, and you want to try to take some momentum back and, and those things. I don't see him do that. And that is what I think people get more frustrated at than anything, is because it's like his coaching now is like his press conferences. It's bland. It's vanilla. You're not going to, you're just not getting much out of it. And so that's just kind of what I feel. I don't know about you guys.
Bino, thoughts on that?
Z, I don't know that I've ever watched us when I was thinking, I wish we would try an onside kick here or there. That's not something about his approach that bothers me, but I respect your thoughts on it.
I just don't. Do you guys see that we're trying to even take away possessions or steal points with some of the decisions he's making? Like, I just don't see us taking a lot of risks anymore. Like, I think it was early in the first quarter, and we were 4th and 1, I think.
Yeah.
We punted it.
Yeah.
I just don't see the same Heupel. And if you're going to go on the road and you're going to expect to just go down there and line up and play football and think that you're going to beat them without stealing anything, like even Alabama tried a receiver pass. We just defended it well. Like, we don't even do anything creative on offense anymore. Like, the bunch formation is about as creative as we've been this year to try to beat, man-to-man coverage.
I don't know that you're being fair to them because, look, they came and modified their offense with tighter splits that they do. They're throwing the ball now in spaces they haven't. I do agree that Heupel's got this thing now where he's gotten really conservative, and that is kind of odd. But, and what I mean is, he's not as risky as he used to be. He doesn't take those risks. I just don't get Beanstar that play call on the goal line. I don't think that's setting your quarterback up to succeed there. And look, the guy made a horrible throw. He's been playing 6 years of football. He should never throw the ball there in that spot.
But he put himself behind the 8 ball, Tony, by not taking a timeout before that and giving himself more time on the clock.
Yeah,
and that's on Josh Heupel.
No, you're right. His clock management, Bino, this year has been extremely weird. I just think he's having a bad year with the headset. I said it Saturday night, and this is as far as I'm going to go to criticize. I think we have years where kickers have bad years, quarterbacks have bad years. A power hitter in baseball will have a bad year. I think Heupel so far with the headset in games is having a bad year. It doesn't mean he's bad with the headset, but for some reason, Bino, he just seems, and sometimes when I play music, I feel like this. He just seems a tick off, Bino, just a tick off what he usually is.
No, I think it's a valid criticism that he has to improve drastically in clock management. I don't think he's ever been very good at that here.
Yep.
He hoards timeouts. I've said it before, like they're green stamps. I don't understand that.
Yep.
And as far as what happened down there on the goal line, I've despised that tight set, especially on 3rd or 4th down around the goal line, regardless of who the coach was here.
Yep.
And I still despise it today.
Because it makes no sense. And as Matt said, and I can't wait to talk to Watson about this, why in the football world these coaches insist on using play action down there on the goal line when nobody believes without a timeout that you're going to run the ball there.
I think we got ourselves in a bind down there, Tony, because of Aguilar's injury. And even though he played and he was doing okay, I think he was hurt enough that they didn't want to chance it, because I think the play that we've shown, whether it was at Mississippi State or against Georgia or whatever, when we get the ball inside about the 3-yard line, maybe the 2-yard line, we go in that tight bunch set, but then Joey keeps it on that little sweep and he's got all his lead blockers. I think that was the play to run, and I think that's probably what they would have run.
Yeah.
But I think specifically he was hurt enough that they didn't want to put him in harm's way. The other thing I think the bad decision was is Brazel's not even on the field. Your best receiver's not even on the field. So if I'm Alabama and you come out in that, I don't even have to worry about. That's not even a threat you have to worry about. And so now you're only going to be able to throw at least maybe 2 plays out of that formation. And I think with Aguilar's injury, I think that really put them where they didn't have a lot of options there.
Yeah.
And I don't think he wanted to take the risk of running it.
Yeah.
But, what would you – obviously everybody says, well, to come out and I would have, not ran in that formation. I think I would have thrown a jump ball to Brazel.
Absolutely.
Is what I would have done.
Absolutely.
And then if you don't get that ball, then you kick the field goal.
Absolutely. Because if you take 3 points there, what's the score, guys? 6-point game. You're in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? And I appreciate the call. What my problem with Saturday night is that you got to give yourself a chance to win. It's what Alabama does. They just let the game come to them. I didn't like chasing the 2-point conversion, Bino, at the beginning of the 3rd quarter. I don't like that at all. I know why these guys do it. Kick the extra point and let the game come to you when it comes to scoring points in these games. Score points. 3's not a bad outcome. Now, I'm not saying you settle for 3, but if you're going to let that clock run all the way down, which they did, Bino, before taking that timeout, or let the clock run, here's the other thing about Joey football. Man, he got hammered the other night. I'm starting to worry about his – what's the word I'm looking for here, Beanstar? The wear and tear that we see on these quarterbacks. Do you share my concern? Because Kentucky's going to hit him too. Kentucky was really physical with Texas on Saturday night. I watched that game in a split screen. That was a really physical football game.
Yeah, Joey competes to the nth, and in this league, there's a time to give up on the play.
Yeah. What about going for two?
Especially a positive play.
To me,
there's time to take what you've got, and that's it, and don't take a hit.
To me, Bino, I'm on the road. Okay, it's my philosophy. And in most games, I'm not going for two till I have to go for two. That's me. Am I wrong?
No, I agree with you more times than not, Tony. But we're on the opposite side of analytics now.
Yep. But analytics,
I see a lot of things in football that make zero sense to me the way I grew up watching it and thinking about it.
And analytics, by the way, tells us as well that putting a ball in play in baseball is not of any value.
Yeah.
And that's Barbara Streisand on 10 continents. And let me tell you why. It's pure BS.
Toronto continues to show that it's bull.
That's exactly right. They put the ball in play, and Jerry's Mariners made 3 errors last night early in that game, which completely altered the game. Now, if you're up there striking out, guess what? You analytics squint-eyed nerds out there, you Ivy League nerds. Guess what happens if you strike out? You're not going to find this in your little formulas, in your little theorems you've come up with. You can't convince me because I know better. Put the ball in play. We've seen all kinds of shoddy defense so far in the postseason in baseball. It's been kind of a theme here. Gee, I wonder why. Could it be that nobody puts the ball in play anymore and forces these people to make decisions in the field? Because everybody's up there swinging for the damn fences? Who wins tonight, Bino, by the way? Then we go back to the phones.
Tony, I took Toronto in 7 before it started, and that's where I'm staying. I'm pulling for the Mariners, but I believe the Blue Jays win.
Go Fighting Jerry Colquitt. He said that place out there is really fired up.
Oh, I can imagine.
Haven't done it in 50 years. The Mariners have already done it at the expense of my Braves in 92 and then in my Phillies in 93. When Mitch Williams gave that home run up, my new family at the time learned that I had some language in me, Bina. Huh?
I can imagine.
That's when they see the real side of you, when you blow a lead in the 9th inning. That's like the third blown lead. We blew in that series, not that anybody cares, we blew like a 7-run lead in one 9th inning in that series. That 93 Phillies team, that's one of my favorite teams of all time. They didn't win it, but I loved them because they were so freaking fun. Back to our TLD Logistics phone lines we go. And again,
Tony, my brother Ron was a devout, unflappable man.
Yep.
About the only thing in the whole world.
Yep.
That could bring it out was like a fumble against Alabama or something.
Say, I love that. They say that adversity reveals character. I think watching sports with somebody that really cares about sports reveals character. Because what they learned about me that night is, God, our daughter's married to a damn psycho. That had to be what they were thinking. I hope this guy grows up at some point. They'd be proud to know that I kind of haven't. But let's go back to the phones. Hello and welcome in to our next call on a Monday where I ask, what do we learn from the Alabama game? And you're on our Monday edition. Hi.
Hey, Tony. Good to talk to you.
Hey, Columbo. Welcome in, buddy.
What
did we learn?
Hey, what about Bino, Columbo? Bino,
how about me, Mark?
Hey, Bino. Jeez, what am I thinking? I'd rather talk to Bino than you anyway.
How you doing, Mark?
Pretty good. So, like, anybody that wants Josh Heupel fired, like, I can't. Just hang up the phone on him. That's so stupid. Has this guy raised the floor of this program beyond anywhere I thought he was going to do it? Absolutely. and he deserves all the credit in the world for that.
Yep.
The last 3 guys here totally flamed out, and the bottom came out of it. It was just terrible to watch. And he, at least, the floor has been considerably raised.
Agree.
That said, he is not an elite coach, and that's okay because there aren't many of those guys out there. And unless you give him like elite talent, he's not winning a game like the one we like Saturday night. He's just not. He's not good enough to win that game. Now the part that's going to tick everybody off. Tony, this is why in the spring, and hear me out and hear my explanation before you jump down my throat. This is why in the spring I clamored to pay Nico. Because was Nico at his full potential and fully developed, and after a year in the system and with these new receivers and the new things he's done on the offense, he has the ability to go down there and win that game on Saturday night. Joey Aguilar, God love him, and he and Heupel did an unbelievable job getting him ready for the season, because if we'd have rolled out there with Jake Merklinger, like the Syracuse game was in play. Like I think we could have lost that game. So, but he's a Sun Belt quarterback, man, and Sun Belt quarterbacks don't go into Bryant-Denny at night and win the game. Nico, however, and look, was he that way last year? Absolutely not. Is there a guarantee that he was going to progress and be his full potential this year? Absolutely not. There was no guarantee. And if he hadn't, I would not have been blaming Heupel. Some of it's on the kid. The kid's got to develop, and it's on him. But he would have given you the ability to cover up some of the deficiencies in the roster. And this offense needs a quarterback with some mobility, because all these defenses are doing now, Tony, against the type of offense, is they're playing deep. They're letting us run between the 20s all we want. And then when it gets in the red zone, they tighten everything up. And the windows are a lot smaller, and he, with his legs, could have made the plays down there. That's all I'm saying. Nico's a 5-star kid. Joey Aguilar's a Sun Belt quarterback. It is what it is. I'm sorry that offends people. Look, they can still win. Look, the schedule's still there for them. They get Oklahoma in their building. They get who the hell knows what Florida's going to be, and they get Vanderbilt in their building. Like, you win out, you're probably making the playoff, and I have no complaints. But Saturday night was proof to me, like, that's why I clamored to pay Nico in the spring.
Be now.
Mark, I'm still the same place I was when we discussed this at the time. I understand exactly what you're saying. I do think that the ceiling is higher with Nico than with Joey. Yeah. But I continually go back to, I just don't think that you can let a player hold your whole program hostage. And that's what I felt like they would have been doing had they have paid Nico.
Hey, Bino, what about his contention that our coach is a low floor, low ceiling coach, because the News Sentinel dropped the F-bomb on him today. The News Sentinel dropped the Franklin bomb on him today, and used the James Franklin, which is kind of what Columbo's saying here. Bino, is that an unfair narrative? Is it too soon for that narrative? Where are you on that?
I think it's a little too soon for that narrative. I don't think he's an elite coach. I'm like Mark. I don't think there's 3 of those guys. I don't think he's that guy, but I do think he's a very solid football coach who, like Mark said, has taken us from what, in my opinion, was the least stable point in the program's history in 4 years to where we go to Alabama and think we can win. And I know a lot of that is that with the transfer portal and all that, the talent is more evenly distributed. But I do think he's put us in position, and I think because of what he's done, he's earned the right to show whether he can take us that next step. And where I separate him from Franklin is, in his first 4 years here, he's beaten Alabama on our field twice.
And you see
Franklin didn't do that at Penn State.
Franklin
Franklin
had one lucky win against Ohio State, and Alabama's the Ohio State in this deal. Alabama's best team in the league this year. I don't care what people say. And Tennessee, by the way, was right with them at the end of the half the other night. If they didn't make that mistake, they would have had a fighting chance in the second half in that game.
Tony, I never for one moment thought Alabama was losing that game.
Me neither.
Me
neither. No, me neither.
Unless they dropped the ball on the ground 3 or 4 times,
that's right.
We weren't winning.
And they don't do that. They don't do that.
And they don't do that.
Right.
And so, regardless of what I just said about Nico, you're probably right.
Yeah.
From a culture perspective, inside the building, we couldn't do it. But Saturday night is the perfect illustration of why I thought we should have paid him. Because Joey Aguilar, God love him, he was never going into Bryant-Denny Stadium at night and winning that game. Never. He's not good enough. I'm sorry. I know that offends people, but it's just the truth. And he's done a hell of a job, because this thing could have been really bad if he hasn't been what he's been these first 6-7 games. All the credit in the world to him. He was never winning that game in Bryant-Denny Stadium. Just wasn't. Anyways,
Lumbo,
so
thank
Tony,
you.
what do you think about Lane going to Florida?
Is he going?
Ask me after the Oklahoma game.
Are they going to offer him?
Yeah. I don't think they'll let Strickland offer another coach until Lane says no.
Is that the chatter out there?
Yeah. But if he beats Oklahoma, Ole Miss is making the playoff and probably hosting a playoff game against, say, Notre Dame. That'll be the biggest game in Oxford since, ever. He wins that, he's going to play somebody in January. I don't think Florida can wait till January to hire Lane Kiffin, and I don't think Lane Kiffin leaves if he wins a playoff game. But if he loses to Oklahoma, he might sit there and say, I can't win a title here, and he goes to Florida.
I'm not sure
and
that
Florida. Now, if LSU opens, he's going to LSU.
Mark, I'm not sure Florida's a better job than the Ole Miss job right now.
But it doesn't matter what you and I think, Tony. It only matters what Lane Kiffin thinks.
Bino, do you think Florida's a better job than the Ole Miss job?
I think historically it certainly is, Tony. But I don't know about right now.
Tony, it won't be because of money or support why Lane Kiffin leaves.
No, it's kind of
they've given him everything he's ever asked for.
Yeah.
It'll be because he doesn't think he can win a title at Ole Miss. He was devastated after that game Saturday. He wants to be on that stage and be thought of in the same realm as a Kirby Smart, as a Ryan Day.
He got kind of toyed. He kind of toyed with Saturday because Kirby waited till the penultimate drive of the game, and then the final drive of the game to start blitzing people. He was almost like Kirby said, "Okay, guys, that was fun. Now go get him." That was fun.
Here's the thing, Tony, and this kind of relates to Joey Aguilar. Trinidad Chambliss has been very good this year for them.
Yeah.
But when it was nut cutting time down there in Athens on Saturday, he kind of turned into a D2 quarterback again. Same as Joey Aguilar.
There's speculation over here in our YouTube video. Mark, do you have, seriously, some kind of Kiffin shrine, maybe a Kiffin body pillow, something of that sort in your house?
No, I just don't
sit here and
dwell on the fact that it was 16 years ago when he left. I would have hired him in 2017.
I would have hired him. If this job opens, I'd hire him here because he'd win a national championship here.
So I don't sit here and have.
Maybe I'm
not all up in my feelings because he left for his dream job.
Maybe I have a body pillow.
If he'd have known he was losing 30 scholarships over 3 years at USC, he never would have left, and he would have won a title here back in the early 2010s.
I think he would have won a lot. Yeah, I think he'd still be here. Would be my take.
I mean, or he'd be in the NFL again. But yeah, I'm sorry I don't get all up in my feelings because he left 16 years ago. Some people get all up on their feelings about that. I don't.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, Bino, you and I have talked about that, right? If our guy left to I don't know, go to Oklahoma or whatever, who knows? It's a crazy world. Or he just gets sick of coaching. I would not be averse to hiring Kiffin here, would you, Bino?
Absolutely not, Tony. I think he'd be very good here. Like you all, I think he would have been very good here had he stayed. Had he not self-destructed in those early years, I think he would be much better here today than he would have been in that period if you brought him back. My only question about Lane is the same one that people have about James Franklin.
Yep.
Where are his big wins?
Yeah, he beat Georgia last year, but you're right. He's at a place, though, that's pretty big win. What's the term?
That's right.
He's like in a big win desert there at Ole Miss. I'm not sure. The more I think about that Florida gig, Spurrier, man, was really special. Now, could Kiffin be a Spurrier 2.0 with his offensive approach? And if you let him get his hands on a lot of those Florida players, he would get down there at a time where Florida State's floundering. Somebody on the inside of the Florida State thing, we were talking about that job opening last week, was telling me that they don't know that it's going to open because they don't have the money to buy that guy out. And they're kind of reevaluating spending all this NIL money on these teams that don't work, and maybe we need to have a program guy. It's hard for me to believe because we're up till 3 o'clock in the morning the other night, and I'm watching Florida State in the middle of the night in a road game. You talk about feeling like you're in the Twilight Zone. Florida State going to 0-4 in the league, losing at Stanford. With Bino, the guy that should be Bino's quarterback over there, running around the sidelines looking like a damn weirdo, running up and down the sidelines. No offense to the physicists listening to me, but that Luck guy looks like a damn goofball physicist running up and down the field. You talk about a nerd. No offense.
Well, you if you didn't know who he was, you certainly wouldn't look at him and say, there's a former franchise quarterback right there.
Yes. 865.
Yeah. Tony, the new schedule makes it a little bit more palatable, but I hope Lane Kiffin doesn't go to Florida.
Yeah, that's a thought I kind of echo. I like to see them struggle because I don't think he'd struggle there. 865. The past couple times they passed over him because they were too high-minded. What happens when you go through the wilderness is you get a lot less high-minded.
Mm-hmm.
Getting your nose rubbed in it has a tendency to make us all just kind of say, you know what? Screw that. I just want to win. But we'll come back on the other side. By the way, I have a new name for our zone defense. Tim Banks' zone defense. They call their nickel the Star. They call that edge rusher the Leo, which is great names. He needs to call his zone defense the Twilight. We're going to go to the Twilight Zone defense as we continue with more on the other side after this.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted Grade A Grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Basilio here. No one does it like Alumni Hall. I'm here to tell you, living Vol fan, only one place that's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear, and that's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. Top brands like Nike and Champion, Columbia, Peter Millar. Load up on hats, accessories, Yeti, all your tailgating necessities. Download the Alumni Hall app, click account, and it'll tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You earn $10 in rewards for every $150 dollars you spend. Alumni Hall, with physical locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, and 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get ready and tell them Tony B sent you. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold way filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of each day with those who matter most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. TGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our Gold Bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama ZZ approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Thank you to Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols!
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
Let's keep it live, legal, and large.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Josh Heupel will be speaking here momentarily. We'll monitor that. We're going to take phone calls. Continue the conversation here. What do we learned about the Vols here? That's our question of the day. What would you learn Saturday night? Bino, you have anything else you want to add to the robust discussion here as Kentucky is on deck? Another night game. Some more midnight madness for me.
Yeah, Tony, just real quick, we were talking about Tennessee's defense as we went to break, and I never do this, Tony, but I'm going to make a slow pitch softball. So stay with me, folks. This is going to be real quick. Make a slow pitch softball analogy, Tony. When your opponent continues to hit the ball back at your pitcher, generally an old-time softball adage is you come back in the dugout and you say, okay, boys, middle's open, which means we're going back up through there at their guy. I can just imagine all our opponents going over the sideline saying, okay, boys, middle's open.
Yeah, I called that the Twilight Zone defense. Bino, they hammered us in the middle of the field the other night, did they not? Those slant routes, every time they had to have a big play. And look, if our ends don't get home, all these games except New Mexico State are losable. All of them. We have got to get heat on quarterbacks. Because those guys in the back are not going to hold. They're just not.
And that was a disappointment the other night, Tony, because that's a matchup that we should have been able to take advantage of.
Yep.
Other teams had taken advantage of it. And for some reason, we've been very good at it and weren't the other night.
Oh, man. Back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402. Hey, Bino, if Venables gets let go by Oklahoma, would you make a run at him if you're Tennessee?
I would, Tony.
Back to our phones.
And Tony, I don't know. I'm not astute enough to know what staff movements we should make.
Yeah.
But one of my true concerns about Josh going forward is, will he have the stomach? If you're at a place like this, you have to make staff upgrades as you go along.
Yep.
And one of my concerns is, will he have the stomach to make those and to be proactive rather than reactive in doing it?
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. By the way, I want to congratulate Martin Columbus on his phone call.
Horrible.
Huh?
Continue, sorry.
He didn't mention one time Hugh Freeze on his phone call, who's going to soon be out of a job. You didn't think, to our caller, you didn't like Columbus's phone call?
Tony, this is Taylor. Hey, Bino. No, Mark from Columbus is a very entertaining, well-spoken caller and provides a lot of entertainment. But I kind of know what he's going to say before he calls. But Tony, here's what I learned on Saturday. I learned that Jimmy Sexton is the absolute best Uber agent in college sports, is what I learned. And he can have his team leak a story while he's at Athens attending the Ole Miss Georgia game, and he continues to play chess when the rest of the folks are playing checkers.
You think they leaked that?
Tony, of course they leaked it. Do you think Buster Posey and the Giants organization wanted that out there? Absolutely not, Tony. They've already been turned down by Hundley. The last thing they need is a college manager who has zero experience in MLB or minor league baseball, where no one that has those qualifications have ever sniffed a top MLB job, turning them down on the record. So absolutely it came from Sexton. I don't blame him. That type of stuff is what, he leverages, right, and makes him the absolute best in college sports at doing what he does. So, yeah, I think Jimmy Sexton leveraged that, leaked it, his team did. And what has it created? Well, it's put an enormous amount of pressure over at the University of Tennessee Athletic Department to get off their butts and do whatever it takes to retain arguably the face of college baseball, the best coach in college baseball in the country, certainly the most charismatic, self-aware, most dynamic coach over there on the Hill. Tony, Chris Burke last night called Tony Vols irreplaceable. I mean, he's a Nick Saban of college baseball. He's truly, to use an overused expression, he is truly a generational coach. If he does stay, and I don't know the answer if he stays. I've heard rumors that he's going to. I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if he turns down the Giants, he becomes even more of a living legend. He amplifies his persona and the program exponentially. And that's hard to do. When you're the elite of the elite, his phone will not stop ringing from glad-handers, big donors, and potential five-star recruits saying, when can I get an appointment? I want to come to Tennessee. What do you think about that?
Well, the other thing he does, because I was telling Bino off the air, so much of what happens on these college campuses is political. And I wrote today, look, his AD's not real fond of him. He's just not. And his team's not fond of him. Because Tony does what Tony's going to do. Who Tony is. Tony's going to ask permission later. I will take you back to the Alberto Ozuna thing last year when he called me in a rage. He's like, why aren't you talking about that on the air? I'm like, Tony, you're beating people by 1 million runs. What do you need another player for? What do you mean? What do I need? And I got kind of a look-see into him. And the look-see is this. It's never enough. You think you've met the most competitive person you know, and then you watch that guy. And I'm with Bino. I think if he goes, he'd be totally miserable managing major league millionaire/billionaires. I think he'd be miserable playing in those waters. And I'm hearing what you're hearing, Taylor, which is that, I'm not going to say it on the mic, but you said it, the rumors that are out there. He really confused his kids on Saturday. I don't know that he leaked that because essentially he told his kids, and this is what I got from somebody whose kid's on a team. He said, don't believe the reports that you hear until you hear it from me. And you guys, no matter what happens, are going to be in good hands. Now, that's not a guy denying that he's going to leave. That's a guy that's a kind of a smart guy, Bino, because a lot of coaches go before their kids and they lie, Bino, right? When they get kind of pinned to the wall, I'm never going to leave you. That's not what he said. He said, don't believe what you read till you hear it from me. And then he went out and did a practice yesterday like nothing happened. Didn't say a thing to his team. It's very curious here how this is going to go. But Bino, Taylor's right. If he turns down the major leagues, He'll be the first guy in the history of college baseball to do so, and he will be a complete and total rock star in that deal if he turns him down, Bino. A complete rock star. And Donde Plowman reached out to him over the weekend, and Tony's going to have the keys to the kingdom on UT's campus too, whether people like that or not. That's how it's going to be. He's the only guy with a national championship over there, isn't he, Bino?
Yes.
And he's going to win more.
Yes.
If he stays, he's going to win more.
I agree. Yeah, he's already a rock star. I don't know what the next step is, but whatever it is, if he stays, he's going to that.
Yeah. Well, here's what bothers me. Some people are like, "Oh, they've already done everything they can. New stadium.
That's what Danny's
$3
people are
million
telling people.
Contract."
That's what Danny's people are telling people. They're throwing up their hands. I think they want him to go, Taylor. Yeah. I think they want him to go. I think those people want him to go. Be careful what you wish for. They would
be absolutely moronic.
Be careful what you wish for.
Tony, I think Danny White's ego and his narcissism is so big, he expects his direct reports to follow in line. He says something, he expects them to do it. If his direct reports would rather beg for forgiveness and ask for permission, he's not having that. His ego is too big. He needs to read the room. Danny White needs to read the room. You've got, as I've already indicated, I won't go through that list, a generational coach, the face of college baseball in your backyard. You inherited him. You do whatever you need to do to keep him happy, give him the resources necessary. Here's the problem, Tony. They've got a fall roster right now of 43. They've got to get it down to either 34 or, depending on how many DSAs, I think they've got 3 DSAs, they've got to get it down to 37 by December 1st, right? I think likely Tennessee requested 6 DSAs potentially. That would make sense, right? The old roster was 40, although you could have virtually unlimited walk-ons. So 6 would be a reasonable request. I don't know what they requested, but that could be part of the rub, that they're not getting fully funded the DSAs, because if you declare a DSA, they're an additional cost, right? You're fully funding. Also, the fact is, I think this is a fact. Everything I've read, heard, and people I've talked to, Tennessee does not have a top 10 baseball budget. When I say baseball budget, I'm combining that for revenue share and NIL. They don't have the money to go out there and buy portal players, or I hate to say it, but that's the reality, like the LSUs of the world do, and other teams. Look at Georgia. Georgia is spending a fortune in the portal. Over half their team is now portal. Yeah. Old West down in Georgia is going to get them competitive. Tony sees that. He realizes the whole paradigm shift in college baseball. If you don't leverage the portal for experienced studs, you don't make it to Omaha. And that's what baseball has changed under this landscape. And guess what? They have not given him the resources to do that. Not like the LSUs of the world, not like the Arkansas, Mississippi States, the Texases, and others. And you know what? I think all Tony wants is give me the budget like a top 10 program, commensurate with a top 10 program, and I'll be happy. And I'm sure he's also a bit annoyed. Lindsey Nelson was supposed to be done last February. The official documentation from the university states it will not be 100% done until February of 2027. Tony, nothing takes 3 years. They've drugged their feet. They have not properly project managed that. They've not properly made that the priority that it needs. So I'm sure that's an irritant to be playing in a construction zone for 2 years. And then I would ask this, Tony. You may know this, and I'll let you go because this ticks me off. And I'll say this before somebody thinks I'm just a Vitello baseball sheep. That whole Ozuna thing, Tony, you probably recall, I was highly critical of Vitello. He's not perfect. I think he made a misstep there. I think he didn't realize, some of the details, and certainly the fans didn't know Ozuna. So I've criticized Vitello before. He's not perfect, but I'll say this. I'd love to know where Tennessee baseball is on campus in terms of revenue share and NIL budget compared to Lady Vols basketball and softball. And then I'd love to hear what some of the other top 10 programs have at their disposal. I know that information is almost impossible to get to. I can get
you the women's basketball stuff because I'm digging on it right now from people that follow it, that are in it. I believe the Lady Vols have a top 3 budget right now in that sport. I believe their payroll is north of $3 million this year. And I believe that some of his money's gone to them. That's why I wrote what I wrote. He believes that. I believe that. And I didn't get it from him, by the way. I did not get that from him. For the record. If you want, you can FOIA my text messages to him. I did not get that from him. I don't need to get that from him. I don't need to get that from him. So the point is that in his world, and Tony's very linear, you're either with me or you're against me. You're either with, and that's kind of what fuels him. He's sort of a grudge guy, Taylor, and the AD over there, the AD has kind of been picking at him, and the timing of this is just not good. And listen, if he leaves, it's going to be because he wants to take a Major League Baseball job. That's why he's leaving. It's not going to be Danny White's fault. But this thing happening on top of the Danny picking at him over the roster size. Look, if I had a guy that won a national championship that's going to win more, I would go out of my way to make sure he's happy. I'm sorry. That's
bend over
me.
backwards.
I would bend over backwards. Last thing I'd be doing is taking NIL budget away from the guy. But that's me. That's just, plus, if I got a $140 million stadium that I'm trying to fill, the last thing I would be doing is picking at the guy. Why would you pick at the guy? And then
110, but that's semantics.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
But, Tony, don't you think, thank God for Randy Boyd, Dante Plowman. Dante and her husband hardly miss a game there.
Yes.
They love baseball. Obviously, Randy Boyd
loves it.
It goes without saying. He's a huge baseball supporter. He owns pretty much the entire minor league teams in Tennessee. Don't you think they're involved? I think you've indicated that. So this is out of Danny White's egotistical hands. And I agree. Listen, he's going to entertain the Giants' offer regardless if he has friction with Danny White.
Yes.
But I surmise that Boyd and Donde, and I'm sure the big donors, the big baseball folks like Larry Pratt, Peyton Manning, and more have all gotten involved. And I sure hope they've been able to salvage this. And, again, I know it's the Giants, and it's remarkable that Vitello was literally their second choice to Hundley. That just goes to show what a treasure and what a stud and the best of the best, one of one Vitello is. But, Tony, make no mistake, on the way out, he's going to, if he does go, and who knows, I hope he stays, obviously, and I think there's probably a 50-50 chance he does stay due to a lot of other reasons. He loves Knoxville, and I'm sure he's feeling the love from higher ups, which he needs. But Q's going to go with him, and likely Sean McMahon. And you just cannot replicate that personality, that charisma that Tony Vitello has. That the talent evaluation, the recruiting. Tennessee baseball will take a huge fall if Vitello leaves. The fan base will not be nearly engaged. They can't lose likely one of the best coaches ever. And the last thing, if he stays another 10, 15 years, ideally he retires, he will be mentioned in the same breath as General Neyland and Pathead Summit. I mean, the guy is one of one.
Thank you,
Tony. Enjoy your reporting, GBO.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't get into it in the first hour. He brought it up. If you want to talk about it, talk about it. But I wrote what I wrote today. Go to tclub.team and read it. I don't blame. I don't blame Danny White for wanting to fund his women's basketball coach. I think she's talented. I think she's very good. Bino, don't you? I mean,
I do too, Tony.
I think she's. I think she could be a very special coach. I'll tell you this now. I'm not taking money out of the pocket of a guy that's already won me a natty that's got that I need to compete with LSU in this league. I don't need him to be, if Taylor's right. I didn't know that. Taylor really follows it. If they're 10 in America in that stuff, that's not acceptable for the level of coach Tony is. But anyway, go ahead, Bino.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if indeed Danny White's to the point to where he doesn't care, I mean, that would be the greatest mistake since Jerry Jones. But Tony, I told you off the air, and I've decided this a number of years back. I look, I've been critical of ADs, really critical of ADs in the past. This day and time, an AD's always going to be the villain.
Yep.
because there's nothing that they do in their job that doesn't make people mad.
Yep.
They either out there squeezing money from people.
Yep.
More money, more money, more money.
Yep.
Or they're having to make decisions about distribution of money between highly, highly, highly competitive people.
Yep.
They're making somebody mad with every decision they make. So I try not to be overly critical of them.
I think it's fair. And I thought what I wrote this morning was fair, Bino. I called Tony kind of nuts, which he is, right? That was fair. That's a fair thing to say. And I do believe that Danny and his people want the guy to go. I really do. I wouldn't have written that if I didn't believe that. Now, he would say, well, that's crazy. I deny that, blah, blah, blah. We love him, blah, blah. Of course, what's what you're going to say publicly? Privately, Tony's an irritant to them. I love Tony because he's anti-establishment, damn it. And he went and won doing it. He stuck his finger in Tim Corbin's face, Bino. Tony reminds me of the early Bruce Pearl thing, except he won the whole thing. The early Bruce Pearl thing, the anti-establishment, I'm going to take my players into the stands down in Georgia. I mean, what in the world? I'd sign up for that 100 times in a row. But Bino's right. These ADs, they're all the same. Whether it's Danny with his schmedium shirts and, he rocks them, or whomever. These guys they're not ex-coaches like they once were. They're a bunch of bean counters. Their job is to extract as much money out of you as humanly possible. Now, he's a little more cold and nihilistic than some with his approach. He's not exactly warm and fuzzy, but whatever. Whatever. Let's go back to the phones. But Bino's right. They're all the same. Those people care about one thing. I'm convinced you could give them, like you could give him $1 billion to play with. He'd spend $1.1 billion and dive in your grandmother's sofa looking for quarters, nickels, and dimes that have fallen through the cracks from family members that have visited. They're all the same.
I was thinking from a cheap shot angle, though, Tony. I saw a little blurb on the news last night where they had the finish on the field road race. And they showed it last night, and there were just a ton of people, runners, trying to get into the stadium. And I was thinking last night, well, they got this set up exactly like the Georgia game. The runners can't get in there either.
Back to the phones we go. And by the way, somebody told me that went to the Alabama game that the Alabama experience getting into their game completely different than Tennessee's. They don't have this what would you call that, like a bottleneck. All their gates are functional like they've always been down there. They're not doing the premium. I don't like that. I don't like partitioning fans off. Look, fans are going to be partitioned off regardless because some want the premium stuff. Fine. You don't have to restrict gates to the peril of others. You just don't. I mean, that was a very, very dangerous thing that happened here to a fan base that deserves a lot better. And I was critical of that. But, with this thing, the guy hired this women's coaching, and he wants her to win. It's his hire. And by the way, he took a big chance on her. I will remind you that Richard G. West broke that story because we all thought it was comedy. That's the truth.
Hey, Richard G's got a couple right now, and
yeah,
people are believing they're full believers.
Hey, I was told.
I mean, I was a full believer forever.
I was told, Bino, hey, Richard, if you're listening, Bino used to screenshot your stuff and send it to us in a group chat like you were breaking stories. It took – how many times, Bino, did he get you?
I don't know. I was a really, really slow learner. I was new to Twitter and we're operating with the same brain I operated everywhere else.
Some would call Bino special. Brent says if Tony walks, Danny will be very hated. Look, if Tony walks, it's because he wants to take a Major League Baseball job. I don't think it's fair to throw a bunch of vile at Danny White if Tony leaves. I just don't. But there is a backstory. There is a backstory to this. And that's part of the component. Part of the component is that Tony has this thing in his mind that you're either for me or you're against me. And in this deal, well, I already said it. Let's go back to the phones, and we'll get our next call in. And they've really moneyed up Kim Caldwell to win. They've really moneyed her up. Let's get our next call in on your TLD Logistics phone line. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony and Bino. This is Jack from Wartburg.
Hey, Wartburg Jack. Welcome
Jack.
in, brother.
Y'all ever been to a cattle sale at the stockyard?
No, I'm not familiar. What are cattle sales at a stockyard, Jack?
Well, that's what you've seen at the Georgia game, trying to enter and exit the stadium. Everybody was gated down one way and funneled in, and that's about what that was like. The biggest disaster I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, I hope they get it fixed, or I hope they've gotten it fixed. But there's no need to put your fans in danger like that, and that falls at the feet of the athletic director, by the way.
I left the game Saturday. I expected it, so I wasn't as mad as I was.
Yeah.
I was aggravated, but leaving the Arkansas game and watching the Mississippi State game, I was way more aggravated at the football team than I was this past weekend. And my question is do you think this coaching staff, I love Heupel to death, and he's got us up off the mat and everything, but does he take this serious when you think about it?
Talking about Josh Heupel?
Yes.
Yes,
Jack. I think he takes it serious.
Are you kidding? He's highly
Well,
competitive. Highly competitive. Are you kidding?
I'm gonna go back off a few things that you commented earlier in the spring.
He burns to win, man. Are you kidding?
You reverse the coaches. Put Vitello in his spot. The football team has the football program is number one on this campus. It brings in the most money, and he continuously does not go out and get portal players like he should. And you mentioned it. You said this guy. You're worried about this guy. He don't go out and get the players that he should when he has all the assets to go get them with. You take Barnes. Barnes got a mint. Barnes, every single year, Barnes is looking. During the season, he's already plotting who he's getting for the next year. And he's making adjustments to better his program for the next year. Just like when he played Houston. He knew, hey, I've got to get more offense. He's went out each year and stepped up and got better and better and better to make a run at the Final Four. Do you not agree on that?
Yes, I do agree. I
Okay.
give the Rick Barnes thing from 10 years ago till now, and he's got our program in a completely different place, and his approach has totally changed, and he's adjusted to the transfer portal. Bino, it's mind-boggling the stuff Barnes is doing at his age. Don't you agree with that, Bean?
Yes, when most of his contemporaries have basically retired because they did not want to deal with it. So I give him all the credit in the world for basically transforming his thought process. Jack, I don't know if what we've done in the portal, we've been pretty successful percentage-wise in what we've got out of the portal.
Yep.
What I don't know is, do they have the proper balance right now in their thought in football of how much to go into the portal as opposed to how much to build your program off of high school recruits. We may be a little bit on the short side as far as what we try to do in the portal.
Because they're really
serious
invested.
might not be the right word.
No. They're
When you
really,
look at Barnes, when you look at Barnes, and he's adjusted his coaching style, and he's, I don't know the proper terms. Maybe he's accepted help and getting, and took a step back and changed his ways of coaching to adapt to this the way it is these days.
Yeah,
what it takes to win, and he wants to win, and you can tell it. We're like, Heupel, he has his clock management, and it's like he's overloaded, and he's like, you're only as good as the people you surround yourself with. So
no, I do agree with that.
He's surrounding himself with friends.
Yeah, here's the thing about Heupel that you bring a good point up. I think it's really hard to call plays and manage a football game right now. Even more so than it was like on the Spurriers of the world, because the college game is sped up. The clock's always moving now. It's a different game. And now you got these replays and all this stuff to deal with. You didn't before, and you got to chew on the refs and then worry about personnel and all these things. And it seems to me, because some of these guys are going to this, where they have somebody in their ear, and Tennessee hasn't, but somebody in their ear saying, "Hey, you got to get a timeout here. You got to get a timeout here. You got to get a time." I think he needs that because I think he's calling the plays. I don't think this Halsley guy is the quote-unquote play caller like they try to act like he is. Bino, do you agree with that? That Heupel could probably use some help from that perspective like some of these guys are doing? Lane Kiffin, I understand, has somebody that gets in his ear now because he's down there calling the plays, that gets in his ear saying, hey, get a timeout here, get a timeout, get it. And that's exactly what they did before the 2-minute warning. Now, Kiffin made a mistake the other day. He took his third timeout with 2:06 on the clock before the 2-minute warning. And Heupel, I think, did a similar thing. You let the clock run there. But I think Heupel could benefit from that, Bino. Do you agree? What Wartburg's talking about?
It's one of the things, Tony, that I've kind of been thinking about that could help Josh going forward to take the next step. And I do agree with you. I wish he could find someone that he trusts enough to call plays totally, and then him just be the game manager.
But by no means do I want Josh Heupel gone.
I like him a lot.
But
yeah.
But I feel like he needs to better, surround himself with better people. And if not, I'm afraid it's gonna few years maybe down the road, it's gonna come back to bite him. And I don't want to see that because I think he can be successful if he just had just a touch bit of help with better people around him. Would make him look better. I mean, do you agree with that?
Yes, I do. I think that the concept of surrounding yourself with the best people, I look at like a Saban and a Kirby Smart and those guys on their staffs, they go after the best people they can find. Yeah, that is kind of a concern of mine with Josh.
And other than Garner, I mean, nobody is really recruiting at a high level off that team, right? So just surround yourself with better people, and the results are going to come. Don't be scared that they're going to take your job, and don't be because you're coaching. He's kind of coaching not to lose rather than to win. He don't take the chances, and the offense. You don't see the explosive plays. You don't see the trickery. It's kind of like he's in a box and he's staying in a box because he's got used to the defense last year being pretty decent because he didn't have a quarterback that could run the offense. So I don't know. I just feel like he's hung in the mud, like he's stuck, and he's going to have to get better coaches around him to take it to the next level.
I think that's I think that's a fair assessment because I think he's very good. I think we could be better. On the recruiting, they've done really, really well in the high school ranks. Like they've got a pretty good class coming in. They have a 5-star quarterback stacked with George McIntyre. They got that Keys kid, the great receiver. And so they've augmented. I mean, it doesn't mean those people are going to be hits, but they're trying. My criticism of what they did in the portal was you're in a league where even if you have Auburn, and it hasn't worked out for Auburn, okay, but Auburn had 2 great young receivers there. They knew they were great young players. But they went out and got the guy from Georgia Tech that was the number 1 receiver in the market. Now, they got the wrong quarterback. That kid, that kid couldn't play catch in the backyard with you. You'd be going and fetching the ball all the time. And that's going to get Hugh Freeze fired. But let me go through a few things that Josh Heupel said today at his press conference. Josh Heupel on the offensive line. Ultimately, he writes, there are things we should have done and could have done better on the offensive line. He said, I told them this morning, the whole group, I love the way we continue to compete. About his road struggles, he said, I don't think we've played perfectly at home either. He was asked about his road struggles today. On the missed tackling, some of them we were in a bad position. Some of them we just don't wrap up. We've got to find a way to get people down and make that play. And, Bino, we were talking the other night about that ball that Bernard caught where 4 guys are around him and he splits them like he's in a cartoon or something. I don't know that I've seen anything like that this year on a football field.
No, and I don't know if that was fatigue or what that was, but that was the epitome of poor tackling on that play.
Heupel also acknowledged that Joey Aguilar's took a pretty good beating against the Tide, but will be ready to play this weekend. But he did acknowledge that he's got some bumps and bruises. He also, about his offense, said ultimately we've got to find a way to create more explosives. Does it concern you, Bino, that it seems like our SEC opponents have figured out a way to take Brazel away? They've figured out a way to bottle him up?
Well, the game before last, the Arkansas game, they certainly seemed to have found something. Now, the other night, I thought he was more a factor. I think he got targeted 9 or 10 times.
Yep.
But I did think he kind of went missing in action against Arkansas.
Yeah. Heupel also said, he went on to say, we look at games against Kentucky. Historically, they've been really tight. He said, and obviously everybody's very disappointed about our outcome from the other day. So, typical Heupel stuff. 865-200-5402. We come back. We continue with more. I want to hear from you. More on the other side after this.
Guests appear on the TLD Logistics Hotline. Online at tldlogistics.com.
Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dos with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Whether it's baseball, football, softball, church groups, or schools, if you're raising money, do it with locally roasted grade A grounds coffee. I'm Billy Miller, a Vol alum and Knoxville native. You keep 40% of sales, and we donate 5% back to our East Tennessee community. Get started today by visiting our website at gradeagrounds.com.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our trials last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy. That's you.
Wow. I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
It's always magnificent. Mondays on the Basilio Show, presented by our friends at Fleet Tire. I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. And now, back to B.
Playbook with William Patterson's right around the corner on Fan Run Radio. I'm going to stay here and kick it over at tclub.team. One of the things we do here, and you'll hear this as we go in the blog and also on the show, is our hardwood report. And it's presented by our friends at WeShipFloors.com. We had a caller, Alan from Jonesboro, last week, popping for these people. Why? Because he said, Tony, the product, I was so proud to hear them on your show because the product's off the hook. And I've talked with countless other people as well that have the Supercore floor in their home or in their I talked to a guy that used it in an office area, and he said, Tony, you can't scratch, and you can't beat on these floors. He said, you can't beat them up. He said, we tried all kinds of product. That a guy told me the other day. So maybe I'll turn turn a couple of those into radio commercials down the line, but it's good to hear the great stuff about Allen and WeShipFloors.com because they have a room visualizer, 120 Supercore floors to choose from. You go in there, use the room visualizer, and then order some free samples. Me and Laura are doing that. We were looking at it over the weekend, and they've got all kinds of different colors and shades and things to choose from, and WeShipFloors.com. They're Tennesseans. Alan and the gang were down at the Alabama game. I mean, he lives it, breathes it, eats and sleeps it. He was up in the middle of the night with us on Garza fifth quarter fan reaction. I mean, he needs to get a life like the rest of us. He loves this stuff. WeShipFloors.com. They will ship free to you anywhere in the United States of America. Free shipping. Here's the report. You're not going to see this in the media. I told you I'd have it for you. Here we go. Tennessee won the basketball game over Ohio State 109-96. Jacoby Gillespie continues to be off the hook good. He had 35 points in the game. Tennessee, their offense right now is way ahead of their defense. It's kind of like the opposite of these football teams in these scrimmages. Their offense is way ahead of their defense. Felix Okpara was Tennessee's second leading scorer. Ament was Tennessee's third leading scorer. Ament continues to show exemplary range from the outside, commensurate with a guy that is going to play at a very, very high level. So that's good to hear. Jalen Carey, interestingly enough, took a step in that scrimmage as he played a lot better than he's been practicing. It should be pointed out the reason the game was so high scoring was that Ohio State shot the ball very well from the perimeter. And again, Tennessee's offense is way ahead of their defense. The Vols back at it on Sunday with Duke in a sold-out Thompson-Boring Arena, and we will be on the air after that game with a Garza fifth quarter. No, what do we call that, Bino? That's not a fifth quarter fan reaction. What do we call that show?
Basketball overtime.
There you go. Thank you. Now, Bino, would you suggest that I do that after staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, or would you get hired help in here? How would you handle that?
I would, without question. I would farm that out.
Shout out WeShipFloors.com. Again, shout out WeShipFloors.com. That is your hardwood update. We'll go back to our phone. Easy for me to say. We'll go back to our phones and get a few more calls in. Hello and welcome in. You are live and in living color with us today on a Monday. Hi. Welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony B. It's Richard.
Hey, Richard. Welcome in, buddy.
Hello?
Yeah, hey, Richard. Welcome in. You're on the air.
I'm sorry. I just wasn't picking you up very good.
You're the man, buddy. Thank you. You're the man. You're the
I had
man.
to turn my volume up. Hey, good show today. Bino, how are you today?
I'm well, Richard. Thank you, sir. Hope you are.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hey, you wake up and it's 38 degrees outside. Beautiful day, correct? So, but I didn't get a chance to. I listened a lot Saturday night after the game. Of course, as your call-in show is after a game, always packed and couldn't get a chance to get in. But good to talk about the game now. And first of all, just wanted to say, after, digesting that game and all of the mistakes that Tennessee football decided to make that night to not give us even a fair chance to win that game, boy, I tell you what, it was tough. First of all, I'll disagree with Mark from Colombo when he says that Tennessee was never going to win that game, period, or was never going to have a chance. I completely disagree with that statement. I believe if you watch the game fairly, you understand one point. Inside the trenches that game, we held our own. Actually, we were better. We ran the ball on them. They couldn't run the ball on us. I thought we did enough from the physical standpoint of the game to win the football game. The difference in the game was we self-inflicted so many mistakes, whether it was the interception, the safety, and some of the penalties. We were our own worst enemy and didn't give ourselves a chance to win that football game. To me, that game should have been in the last 5 minutes, and either way, which team makes the plays to win the game. I thought we did enough physically to be there. Again, we just can't make those mistakes. On the pass, bad decision from the play call from the coach first. Say that right off the bat. Second, it was a worse decision in the place in which Joey threw that football. A veteran guy cannot make that throw to the inside of that guy to make that interception that easy. That was on him on that throw. Bad decision from the coaches to call it. The safety, just like Sean said after your show, that was completely on Aguilar. Jesse Perry, yes, was getting pushed back, but he still had his guy locked up. He's got to move out of that pocket and get rid of the ball and not give up that safety. So there was a couple things that he didn't do very good that game, and that 9 points really cost us an opportunity to make it a complete four-quarter game. But again, it was a complete team thing from the coaches and some of the things that they did wrong that they didn't have ready. So some execution by players has got to be better. That's how I kind of my synopsis of how that game played out.
It's interesting, Richard. Why didn't we run the ball more when we were beating them at the point of attack?
Well, Tony, I think this team, as we'll see all year, is setting up our running game with our passing game. We're trying to get guys. We're doing a very good job of getting guys open. If you want to take away Brazel down the field, go ahead. Staley's getting open. Matthews is getting open. Our tight ends are getting open. We use that to try to loosen up the running game, to get the safeties back, give us an opportunity to run it better. And so I think it's just, it's hit and miss when you're going to be able to run the ball at its best, because sometimes in a game on the road, the home team is going to be at their best at stopping the run. And so you really want to try to loosen them up a little bit before you think you can just flat out run the football on the team. And so I think that's a lot of what you see. But once we got going in the second half, we really moved guys off the ball. We had a very good running game. Deshaun ran the ball outstanding. And like I said, it was all there from a physical standpoint for us to take that into the late into the fourth quarter with a chance to win. We just made the self-inflicted wounds. Yep. We were just
can't do that
halfway,
stuff, man.
Yeah, even to the point, I know this kid was a true freshman, made a mistake. When they made their one turnover, when that ball was a fumble, Ty Simpson, the ball was coming out of his hand before he tries to throw that ball. That was a legitimate fumble. Yeah. Perlotti, the true freshman, had it right there to scoop and go score. Instead, he thinks it's an incomplete pass and just kind of bats the ball. Those are the kind of mental mistakes we made, Tony, that entire game that kept us from having the chance to win that game. It was just a synopsis of various places that the team. And then the last one was when, again, you have a guy for a 15-yard loss, and he turns it into a 17-yard gain.
Crazy.
Because 4 guys can't break down and make a tackle.
Electric football. Electric football, man. Yeah.
And so it was. It was just a comedy of errors from everybody that kept us from winning that game. It wasn't Alabama. Alabama's a good football team, but it wasn't a physical talent thing in a lot of positions. Other than, I will say this.
Yeah.
We are clearly outclassed every time we take the field from our safety position. The safety play, Tony, again, was horrendous. Those guys were nowhere to be found on the football field. And you've got to have safeties that come up and make plays that, okay, if you're going to give up a 5-yard pass, come up and make the tackle. I watch good football teams that play good zone defense, Tony.
Yep.
They may let you catch the 4 or 5-yard pass, but they come up and make the tackle, and it doesn't turn into first downs. We got guys that are completely, from the linebackers to the safeties, that are completely out of position in zone defense. And when the ball is thrown and called, it's turning into more. And it's getting comical to watch our defensive coordinator, who is our coordinator, and he can't even coach his own position up.
Thank you, Richard. I call it the Twilight Zone defense because some people call it zone. I call it the Twilight Zone because that is what it is. Because really there's just no place for it in the sport. But there is a place for the playbook with William Pattison, and it's on the way next. We're going to continue to talk about it and break it down scientifically here. How about it, William? Hit it.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Carlotti guy, Bino, he batted that thing away like me turning away a breadstick at the dinner table.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
you can't be out there playing
Logistics
pickleball on live balls.
Overtime.
Pickleball.
Presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com.
And you know how you know it's a live ball, Bino? As a friend of mine who played the sport said, from the time.
And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
From the time you're like 6 years old or whenever you start playing that game at any of these levels, right? Football. If those officials don't blow the whistle, that ball's alive. Somebody finally realized it was alive. Who was it? One of our defensive linemen realized. Their quarterback realized it was alive.
Yeah.
He sort of went
I can't remember who
yeah.
fell on the fumble, Tony, but I appreciate him for doing it. But, yeah, you got to – you're right. You make them blow the whistle, all of them blow the whistle to have you bring the ball back.
Yep. So you had 4 plays. I always say these games come down to 4 plays. You had them making that first down out of the goal line, on the goal line, which was ridiculous. Or they're punting to you in a 0-0 game on TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. They're punting to you in a 0-0 game. Okay. Let's go. Where do I sign up for that? And Boot Carter's going to get a chance to return because they're pinned against the goal line. Maybe you get the ball like at their 40 for your second series. No, we're not going to do that. Because Tim Banks is safeties, and I'm not picking on Tim Banks, but he's a safeties coach, and he's making over $1 million, so he can take a little criticism. They look like electric football back there. And then,
and the strange.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
And the strangest thing about all of this is I agree totally that we have more problems defensively than we do offensively. Saturday, I lay that defeat right at our offense's feet.
Oklahoma game announced for the kickoff, Bino. The Vols are going to go dark mode the day after Halloween. Would you care to guess what time the kickoff is?
Well, let's see, Tony. Usually dark mode is a night game, but the way that you said it, I'm going to say that it is a noon kickoff and we're going dark mode.
3:30 kickoff Eastern time.
Okay.
So Beanstar read me like a book. I'll tell you one thing, Bino, this is not going to surprise you. I'm a horrible poker player. Okay? Now, I don't know if I'm a Peter Poker level guy who, at one point announced on the show when he was a frequent caller, he said, Friday, how did he put it, Bino? Friday is, what was it? Friday's punishment night, and then Saturday you get to do whatever you want. Remember when he told us
I believe that was correct. I believe Friday was punishment night, and Saturday do whatever you want to.
So, and
those seem backwards to me.
Yes.
But
is that a gambling thing, the punishment night?
No, Tony, that's the first I'd ever heard. Well, I don't know. I'm not a big gambler, but that's the first I'd ever heard of that.
Well, I'm watching some of your plays this weekend, Bino. It looked like Saturday was punishment night, and Sunday was punishment day, and Friday night was more punishment. And
I couldn't pick one after they're over, Tony.
Let's go to the phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome on our TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hello and welcome, and you're on the air.
Tony, Bino, how we doing?
Hey, MP Trace.
MP can tell us.
How's MP4 doing? Hey, is that Friday's punishment
night? What is punishment night?
Yeah, what is that, MP3?
That brings back memories. Petey would just utter that phrase. And then he got on the air and made some hay with it, didn't he?
So, in other words, in real life, Peter Poker would use that phrase, that tonight's punishment night and tomorrow you get to do whatever you want. That was a real thing. Because people think that Peter Poker's a bit that we just talk about. The guy walked up to Bino and he said, you are a smart man. And Bino said, why am I a smart man? Because Lambert promised Peter Poker some seed money, that Bino was going to deliver seed money to him. These are all true stories.
The governor was involved in that too, I believe.
And the Gov, yep, the Gov Bone listening to us, yes.
And Petey would always wanted to stake him, had plenty of opportunities.
Yes. Yep.
Let me get you off Bluetooth.
Yep.
You there?
Yeah, I don't want you on Bluetooth.
Yeah, I don't need to be on Bluetooth for the call. Hey, so a couple things I was wanting to touch on. I've not called in yet this year, but some observations through the season. Aguilar holds the ball too long, in my estimation. And I think Alabama's defense probably saw that because they were sending delayed blitzes, and they got there, 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Are these routes just? I know Heupel tried to change the offense and maybe diversify some of the basic Nico stuff, but are these routes just taking too long to develop? Are they not any check downs? Because Aguilar seems to scan the field and go through progressions pretty good.
I don't know. I think that's an interesting point you bring up. Let me back up here. Oklahoma, Tennessee is either going to be a 3:30 game, a 7 o'clock game, or a 7:30 game, along with South Carolina or Ole Miss. Somebody texted me erroneous information, and I'm looking into it now. And so they're exercising their 7-day window, 3:30 or 7 o'clock or 7:30. It's going to be either on ESPN or ABC, and that according to footballschedules.com. But go ahead. I'm sorry. Bino, do you think the stuff is taking too long or it's too bogged down? Are we constipated offensively right now?
Yeah, it's interesting, Tony. I didn't. I don't think of Aguilar as being a ball holder, but maybe that was more from his reputation coming in here that he would basically try to throw it through small windows in order to get the ball out of his hands. But I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting observation.
Not often do you have an Alabama game on the road where you can count 4 or 5 clear instances where you probably could say you beat yourself.
Yep.
That's what made this so frustrating. One play, too, when he was scrambling inside the 10 and he decided to tuck it, and he got popped real bad at the 2-yard line. Obviously, that's when the shoulder or neck injury or whatever happened. I think that really affected a lot later on down the line in the game. Perhaps he was a little inaccurate after that, but I don't know, maybe wanting to win it too much. and try to run it when he should have slid or thrown it away or whatever. But there were ample opportunities. Obviously we've talked about the 14-point swing there. Just the goofy stuff that would happen. That's happened like 3 times before. You had the Sean Jones recovery of the Casey Clausen fumble in 2003. Jalen Hurd got like stoned at the 1 yard line and they popped the ball loose and scored. Just a momentum killer. I mean, that was essentially obviously the game right there.
Yeah. Did the 99-yard interception return for the touchdown, guys? Did that happen on the drive where he got popped down there around the 2 yard line?
No.
No?
No, that was early in the game when he got popped down there.
Okay.
And
because we scored.
That
That's
was
right.
what I was talking about earlier.
That's right.
Joey just has to understand situations there and not take that hit. Can't do it. And I agree. And I think we had another caller mention it. I definitely think that affected some of the things that we did close to the goal line from that point on, because it basically took him out of being a ball carrier.
That would have been a good time too on the third down. If they were going to run the ball, and I don't disagree totally with just lining up 3 yards in a cloud of dust, see if you can get a yard there in the SEC. It'd been nice to have like a A.J. Johnson package where you had a big guy to snap it to. I know that's probably.
Well, what's crazy is they've been really good on fourth downs. And so you would think that you would be able to do that. The problem is when you don't take time out and you let that clock run and you leave yourself with 6 seconds and you're out of timeouts at that point, you have no chance. Earlier in the drive, you've got to save some seconds. People rightfully have been critical of that. And again, our head coach is struggling with the headset right now. He just is. And he's not having the best year with the headset. He's just not.
He doesn't seem to. I think he's a great X's and O's type guy and a good program guy. He does not seem to have the overall organizational skills to run a clean game plan. I mean, the false starts, the jumping off sides, the situation with Brazel and Staley where, Brazel's across the line of scrimmage, so Staley's downfield blocking its OPI instead of a screen pass. I mean, it just so many little things, the bad snap, that brought it to 3rd and 19 from a 2nd and 12 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You do that against, and I don't even know really how good that Alabama team is. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see Derrick Henry or Mark Ingram out there running the ball for them.
They're not any good at all at running the ball. No, they're
they got some decent
average
receivers, but I don't see Calvin Ridley or Julio Jones.
I couldn't agree more with that, man. And in
I mean,
fact,
that was there, man. That
was
game,
all there, all night long. Yep.
I said though after the Georgia loss, that's probably worth 2 or 3 losses. I mean, if you make that kick there, you're sitting at 6-1 now, probably ranked 7th or 8th.
Yep.
And nobody's really, stressing. Now as it stands, this could spiral into a 4 or 5 loss season, just because the details are not attended to. And you could say, hey, even with our defense playing like it is, and even with the deficiencies in the roster and how he's managed the roster, you could still be 6-1. With the chance to be right there at the doorstep of even getting back to Atlanta.
Bino, do you buy what people this narrative people are selling that this coach is? It's the details that are getting him, because several callers have now alluded to this, and that's what I think Tennessee fans are talking about. Do you buy that, Bino?
I do, Tony. I think in order for Josh to take that next step and us to be a true championship contender, I do think that we have to have a better attention to details and we have to be more disciplined.
Yeah, the little things in this deal are always going to get you, man. Like when people talk about how on defense that we're not lining up properly, people that know a whole hell of a lot more about it than I do, I listen to that MP, and I wonder what the coaches are doing. And that's the defensive side of the ball. That's not Heupel's side of the ball. I give them a lot of
the
credit.
false starts
the false start
are
thing.
numerous too.
Yeah,
I
and when
mean,
you're
that's-
doing that against
Well,
Arkansas,
I
in your
think that's
building,
program wide. I think that's and where we're talking about trying to go, it is a razor thin edge. It is little things that you have to change about your program. There aren't any big things we need to change about the program. We're at the point now to where we're talking about little things to make advancement.
and MP, these things come down to like 4 or 5 plays, man, which decide whether or not you're going to win or lose a game. It's when you get to where Tennessee's at now, because I think Bama's got the best team in the league, and we were right there with them, like Richard said. But I just never thought we would win the game because we haven't proven to me we do little things.
This whole league is so like everybody's mediocre to upper mediocre on a given day to terrible on a given day. I mean,
yes,
anybody can play with it. You know, Mississippi State should have beaten Tennessee.
Yes.
Should have beaten Florida.
Yes.
They got blown out by A&M. A&M probably could have lost to Arkansas.
Yes.
I mean, man, it's there. You've really got to eliminate mistakes. You think of the General's maxims, and in this era in the SEC, there's no more rolling the ball out like a Saban or the early 2020 Kirby teams and just out talenting everyone. I mean, it's who can make the least mistakes that's going to win. And I just don't think that we have the program, the head guy that can run a program clean enough to really get us there. It's kind of baked in, so to speak. And I don't think, I think we've got a good NIL thing going, but I don't think we have the commitment and the whole structure to be able to put a team on the field that can go down to Alabama and beat a program of their structure.
But we have more money than they do. Well, what do you mean? We have a lot more NIL money than they do.
Yeah.
Well, we
I
do.
don't know, maybe they're
do.
They're using it in wiser avenues. 10 years ago, Tony, you were talking about Oklahoma. 10 years ago, we had the greatest post-game phone call ever from Barney Boy, and I really hope we don't experience that top call again this year after Oklahoma.
You know, MP, I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't want to hear Barney Boy talk about his heart got ripped out. I'll tell you how crazy the league is, Bino, and then we go back to the phones. That Kentucky team that's the dregs of society, the richest program in the SEC with the highest payroll by far, went to overtime and coulda, woulda, shoulda lost to them Saturday night, Bino. Forget all of our results. The top and the bottom, because Kentucky's putting their money in hoops. They bought in. Well, they've always been bought in on hoops, but they're really bought in on their coach. He makes them feel warm and fuzzy inside, which is good. I'm happy they got a guy of their own. They're a tradition-rich program. Matt's not going to hear me say that, but whatever. I'm a sucker for tradition. Bino, can you imagine Texas taking Kentucky or Kentucky taking them to overtime and having a legitimate chance to beat them? That's the world we're living in right now.
Yeah, Tony, we're living in a world where Indiana's number 2 in America and Vandy is talking playoff.
Let's go back to our phones. By the way, shout out to the Tennessee Titans for representing over the weekend, and shout out to the Miami Dolphins, man. When you go out and let Jimmy Haslam's bunch just beat the dog shit out of you like that, I mean, I didn't think the Browns were I wouldn't have thought the Browns were capable of doing that to the DC Defenders or the Houston Gamblers, let alone a fellow NFL team. Because Miami's got a good club, don't they, Bino?
They're not good.
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You are on.
Hey, Tony. Bino, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Good talk to you, brother.
Hey, that deal before the halftime Saturday night, Tony, that's high school level game management. I mean, that is just completely unsound what we did. People complain about him not using a timeout earlier, but you had the ball first down at the 3 or 4 with right under 20 seconds left. I mean, all you have to do is play action on first down and then not burn your timeout on first down. You still get 3 plays. To put your quarterback and your team in that position is completely unexcusable. It is the worst thing I've seen since Butch Jones ran the flea flicker with no fleas, Tony. It's that level dumb. Completely unsound. If you're going to come out in that formation, run the damn football. Bama comes out of a timeout. You're still tight. And what everybody in the stadium knew you're going to throw. What do you think they talked about in the huddle over there?
Apparently sitting on that route. Looking at the way that play was covered, Bino, apparently they talked about sitting on that route, right? And by the way, flea flicker without the fleas. Shout out to Fab Five Freddy. One of the great lines. Freddy's 2 best lines, Josh, were flea flicker without the fleas. And then when we had the first Tennessee Sports Hall of Fame, that's right, and they didn't put General Nealon in that first class because that Donna Thomas was in charge of it, and she was a freaking ideologue from the word go because she had to have half the number of Lady Vols as men. And I'm a guy that's not afraid to call a strike here, and I'm going to call them balls. She was nuttier than a fruitcake, and he put her in charge of it. And General Nealon wasn't in their first Hall of Fame class, and Freddie said that'd be like having a Christian Hall of Fame without having Jesus in your Hall of Fame. It's one of the
you
greatest.
Put Tammy Faye Baker in the first class.
Tammy Faye
and Jesus
instead of
in the
Jesus.
second.
Instead of Jesus. Josh, do you think that's funny?
Yeah, that's all time funny.
But you're right, Josh. What happened Saturday night's not all-time funny.
No,
it's really strange that you're in that game, and if you manage that better, right? If you manage that better, you might have given yourself a shot to win that thing late.
Yeah, I'm not saying we would have won the game, Tony. I mean, to me, Alabama had a better football team, but you're getting paid, and I know people say this, but if you're coaching in the SEC, you have to know you can't burn your time out on first down. The defense, if you play action on first down, and give your quarterback a chance to run it in if he's got a opening, or throw it away, and the defense doesn't know you still have the runner pass on second and third down. It was complete. I mean, this is high school level stuff, Tony. It's completely unsound. Stupid.
And
stupidity. This coach, he desperately needs a David Cutcliffe on that offensive staff. They do not respect that coaching staff. I don't care. People say it's baked in. Nothing's baked in. You chew their ass. You make them run. You do whatever. You can't accept these penalties over and over and over. And take no accountability. He threw Aguilar under the bus in the postgame comments. I don't care what he said. He took no responsibility for the stupid play call. None. And as far as Banks, the best safety we've had since Tim Banks has been there is Will Brooks. We have no linebacker play. These ain't little things, Tony. These ain't little things. You have 0 linebackers who can play and 0 safeties who can play. The only chance Heupel has is that Oklahoma loses out and some miracle happens and he gets Brent Venables to coach that defense. He gets a real football coach over there, not this country club we got going on. I don't know what's going on, but there's no accountability. The guy is talented. He's super talented football coach, But there is a level of casualness and just sloppiness and unorganizational skills that you're not going to win big games at nut cutting time unless you get fixed.
Fair or too emotional, Bino? What do you think? Fair or too emotional?
I think it's a little too emotional, but he makes a lot of good points. I do think Carter's a really good football player. I think we may have one linebacker position that we certainly need to upgrade. I agree with the safeties. We have got to upgrade in that position, and I agree that we have to become a more disciplined football team to take that next step. We can't continue to be as highly penalized as we are, and to miss big opportunities in moments because of defense.
The other thing, Josh, with the penalties, and this coach has to figure out a way, and the AD has to figure out a way how to do this. They've got to start getting treated fairly by the officials, man.
You're not going to get treated fairly, Tony.
Why?
Because nobody respects him. They don't respect him. And I hate to say it, but his own players don't even respect him. They may like him, but there's a difference in liking somebody and respecting him. We lead the nation in drop passes. So many dumbass penalties, one right after the other, after the other, after the other. There's no accountability. And I'll say this, the first run fit Arian Carter takes correctly will be his first, because he makes tackles 10 yards down the damn field. He's not a good linebacker. I hate to break it to people. Yeah, he might make 10, 12 tackles a game. How many behind the line of scrimmage has he made? And Tony, I'm not saying fire the guy. He is a talented coach. But you have to hold people accountable. You have to demand a certain standard. It's the same old problems over and over and over. You have to recruit SEC linebackers. You have to have some safeties that can that zone defense we play. Tony, that's not zone defense. I don't know what the hell we're doing. What are we doing on defense? We look like damn electric football on our back end. It is. I don't get it. This guy is not going to win big-time games. He is smart enough and talented enough to win 8 to 10 games a year. He is that good a coach. But to take the next step to play for SEC titles and consistently win playoff games, you have to button this stupidity up. If he don't get a guy like David Cutcliffe in it, somebody with that offense that demands accountability and a real defensive coaching staff outside of Martinez and Garner. The linebacker coach, that's ridiculous. The safety play is ridiculous. You're never going to have a good defense in this league with that, ever. Anyway, and Taylor had a great call. We have to keep Vitello, do everything possible. If he leaves, just because he's going to leave, that's one thing. But if we lose the guy over Tennessee drama, stupidity, that's unacceptable too, Tom. It's the most Tennessee thing ever, man. And what's going to happen, he's going to go out there to San Francisco a couple of years, and then we're going to see him again at Arkansas. And I'm going to quit watching because I can't take that. If I have to watch him coach Arkansas, I can't deal with that. So, anyway, see you, Tony.
Thank you, brother. Bino, that's exactly what would happen if he went to Oklahoma. I mean, not Oklahoma. I was thinking about
Arkansas.
No, if he went to Giants, he'd end up. He'd end up within 2 years.
No.
He'd end up back here.
I agree. He'll be back in the college game.
And Josh, I don't agree with everything Josh.
Sooner rather than later.
I don't agree with Josh, everything Josh just said, but damn, he sounds cool saying
it. He made a lot of points that I believe, only a lot more bluntly and angrily than I.
Yes.
And a little bit beyond what I believe. I think Carter's a good football player.
The guys that win, okay? The guys that win in that sport are the detail people. They just are. Kirby Dumb is they're extremely detailed, and they're not very good. That's a team that's living on the edge. They should have lost Saturday. They're not very good defensively. They beat us because we beat ourselves. They beat Auburn because Auburn beat themselves. Alabama beat us Saturday because we beat ourselves. The teams that are well coached, that's what they do. They just kind of win games. My Eagles are well coached on the NFL level. My guys on winners and losers pick against them every week. I mean, those guys on winners and losers are clowns. They're clowns. You can talk about the models all you want and this, that. Hey, the guy from the Eagles, they do little things well, and they win games because of them. Block kick here, make a winning play there, whatever it is, make a timely pass here. That's how you win games. Don't give up crazy stuff on defense. Make people drive the field on you. The unsoundness of our deal Saturday night is why I just didn't believe. I told Bino that Friday at Calhoun's. I said it on the air. I believe in us. I just don't believe in us enough. And that's kind of how I view the Heupel era when they go on the road in one of these games, these environments. I don't know, to be fair, if the Florida game qualifies as that now. Their coach is fired. Players, by the time we get there, are going to be working on their next move. Where's the quarterback going to be going next year? He's going to be talking to all kinds of suitors. I mean, Bino, it's almost to the point where if you can't beat Florida this year, we might as well just quit the damn thing. We'll never beat them, right? I mean, there's no way they're going to be paying attention by the time it's like playing one of these teams in a bowl game, isn't it?
I don't know how many times I've said this, and there's been very, very few times where it was played at this point in the season. So that may make a huge difference. But I don't know how many times I've said this, but this is without question our best opportunity to get this gorilla off our back.
Yeah. And as Orange Blood said, and he's right about this, despite our many warts, we're a missed field goal from 6-1. And that's nuts. And that's what the league is right now, though. And and I think that's what the league is going forward, which is even more reason, if you're Josh Heupel, to say, how can we cut this nonsense out? Do I need help? Do I need a Cutcliffe? Do I need somebody that will make us more buttoned up? I think that is a fair thing to ask. Don't you, Beanstar? A fair thing to ask?
Yes, Tony. What is going to determine Josh's length of tenure here is going to be it's going to be three things, Tony. It's going to be continued roster improvement and construction.
Yep.
It's going to be putting together the very best staff that you can put, being willing to do the things that you have to do to put together the very best staff that you can put together, and more attention to details. Those are the three things that are going to determine the length of his tenure here.
Yeah, because you play that schedule next year and you don't get some of this stuff cleaned up, you're going to get your ass whipped. You're going to end up 7-5 or 6-6. Because your margin for error is going to go down when you have two inexperienced quarterbacks. So, Back to the phones we go. Nobody wants to see us get our ass whipped, I don't think. Certainly not our head football coach, and not the athletic director, and not these super powerful people that are spending all this money on it as well. Let's go back on our TLD Logistics phone line. It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Reminder, we're live at Calhoun's on Friday. It's going to be utterly next level. A night game at Kentucky. And again, Tennessee's flexed with Oklahoma. It is their dark mode game. I am telling you that. They do have their dark jerseys. They've got the stadium ready for dark mode. It's what they're going to do. I don't know that they've announced it yet. I don't know that they haven't, but that is what they're doing. Hello and welcome into our next call, and you're on our show.
Hey, guys, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Good to talk to you, Sunshine.
Jeff, he's never going to let go. He's never going to let go power over the offense to anybody. So that ain't happening. So you can just.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of the things that has to happen, Dave. That's just my opinion that he would be better off doing that. I'm talking about overall staff improvements and having the stomach to do what you have to do to make that happen.
Yeah, his clock management is probably the worst in the SEC. It's horrible.
It's not
he
good.
Let 30 seconds. He let 20 to 30 seconds tick away there down at the goal line. We never should have been in any kind of rush down there. And yet we were. And then that play was demonstrated that. So he's not going to change. It's not going to change. And he's going to win more games than he loses, no doubt. But he's never, and I mean ever, winning a championship here. He's not sniffing one because he's always going to, even with his best team, he's going to blow a game on the road. The game at Arkansas, there's zero excuse for that, and it cost him hosting a home game in the playoffs. He 2022, that catastrophe in Columbia. I mean, you can't explain that, but it falls on him, and I'm out on the guy. I'm sorry. Well, he'll win more games than he loses, but it doesn't matter. It won't matter. I mean, if you're happy with that, well, okay, great. But he's the weak link over there in our three our head coaches over there in the three major sports, and it's not even close. And if Danny White,
Dave, just take a breath here. Now that's not fair.
No, it's totally fair.
Dave, to say somebody's the weak link when you've got two guys that are like Hall of Fame coaches in their sport, and you got a young head coach in this guy.
He's still the weak link.
Dave, give the guy a chance, man.
Dave, I'm not ready to say he will not win a championship here. I'm not where you're at.
What are you saying?
I think that what he's done to this point, he has earned the right to have the opportunity to see if he can make, and they're not huge changes. They're small changes, I think. I think we're talking about slim margins now between an opportunity to be a championship type team and not. I'm not convinced he won't.
Yeah, I think he made changes this year to his offense, Dave. Give the guy a chance, man. I mean, why is everything so like black and white and stark and dark? I mean, how about this, Tony? If this guy doesn't make changes, he will not be here in 3 years. If he doesn't alter the way he does things, I'd agree with that. But this whole thing of he's never going to do it, you don't know that. Give the guy a chance, man.
He will not make the changes.
How do
and he
you
won't be
know
here
that?
long term.
How do you know that?
I just know that.
That's what I don't know, Dave. I don't know. I don't know if he has the stomach to do it, but I don't know that he won't. And I hope that he does it proactively and not reactively. Here's another thing. Here's another thing.
Any press conference.
I mean, there's.
Hang on. Let's let Bino talk, Dave. Take a breath, and then Bino's. Go ahead, Bino. Your softball.
There's
buddy.
there's a high percentage that you're eventually going to be right, Dave. I mean, we had 2 coaches here. One of them's in the Hall of Fame. The other one should be, that were favorite sons here that got fired here. So eventually, if Josh stays long enough, he's going to get fired. That's just the nature of the beast that he's in. But right now, that shouldn't even be a thought in our conversation based on what he's done in his first 4 years here. Shouldn't even be a thought.
You're right, Pino. He took Nico to and Dave's like, well, what about last year? They made the damn playoffs with Nico. I'm always going to leave you. I mean, what the hell? The guy's going to win like 3 games at UCLA this year, Dave. Come on, man.
Well, it doesn't look like I don't think Tony Vitello would be here long enough to get fired. And obviously,
Dave,
long
Dave,
enough to get fired.
He's the best coach we've ever had, period, in any sport of my lifetime.
It's so unfair.
So, no,
Dave.
he's not likely to get – he's the only generational coach we've had here in my lifetime.
And by the way, Rick Barnes is a damn Hall of Fame coach who's taken multiple schools to – I was going to say Final Fours. Never mind. We didn't get there this year, did we? Never mind. I stopped myself. I edited myself, Dave. We've done everything but basketball, Dave. You've got to admit it.
Well, there's been nobody harder than on Rick Barnes than me.
Yep.
And but I've even backed off of him,
Dave,
because he's changing.
I want you to answer inquisitive here. Inquisitive on YouTube. I want you to answer inquisitive, Dave. And I've seen you in the YouTube chat from time to time, and I'll give Dave credit. Dave is not a bit. Dave does not commit to the bit. Dave is a real deal Holyfield. This is how he feels. Negadelphian at heart. He says, Inquisitive says, Heupel's put us back into the conversation of great teams. When we were embarrassed by not being able to find a coach at one time. Dave, what about that? It is so true, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, does he get credit for that, or?
Yeah, he gets credit for that. But I'm just saying, I'm just seeing things that just repeat themselves over and over and over, and that's not good. I'm telling you. Let me tell you guys. This thing can turn on a dime. They could go up there and get upset by Kentucky.
Oh, Dave.
Well, I'm just saying.
Dave,
I don't think they're going
to. Dave,
but I'm telling you, this thing can turn on a dime, and it can be over just like that. You can never get it back. That's just the way it is right now.
You're right. That's the profession. We saw that in James Franklin.
No doubt about
the profession.
And I'm seeing things that are heading that direction.
Oh,
and I'm serious.
Dave.
Y'all have a good day.
I love you, but you're like the boy that cried wolf, man. You say that about all our damn coaches. I mean, the year we won the world championship of college baseball, you were on here bitching about Vitello. I keep receipts. I mean, shit, man.
You know what I know about Dave, though, Tony?
What's that?
I know he's pulling for the exact same team I am.
Is he?
He wants the exact same, yes.
Is he?
He wants the exact same. I don't believe that Dave wants to see – I don't believe he's one that wants to see failure so that he can be right.
I
don't believe that.
I'm going to disagree with that. I think Dave would like to see us lose to Kentucky this week so he can be right. How you like those apples?
I don't dislike them, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
But I do love me some Nega Dave because he is an absolute clown. But I do think he wants to be Like a lot of people, Bino, you get to a point where you go, okay, I'm out on a coach, and then you want to be right about that. See, that's the problem with saying I'm out on a coach. That's why me and Bino had this conversation. I'm never doing that again. Because once you say you're out on a coach, then you just want to be right. It becomes all about me, 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 me. And look, you can be out on a coach. It's the United States of America. And on this show, you're certainly entitled to express your viewpoint, and I'm certainly entitled to call bullshit. Which I will. On people that are too positive and on people that are too negative or whenever thing we talk about. But sometimes people, Bino, get to the point where and I do think this coach does need to make changes, but they went to the playoffs last year. With Nico at quarterback, who pretty much had his playbook warped down to the point where they took Nico's playbook, and if you go to one of the Riff vans, the Reading is Fundamental vans, you might find Nico's playbook in it. Bino, do they still have the Riff program, Reading is Fundamental, or is that a dated?
I don't know, but I still bring up the Riff Mobile a whole lot. I don't know if it's still out there, but I know what it was.
Let's look and see if the Riff Mobile is still there, and then we'll go back to the phones. Because I really do believe Nico's playbook is in the Riff Mobile. Let's see here. Riff Mobile. Riff Mobile. All right. Let's see if we're still a Riff Mobile, and then we'll go back to the phones. And this is one of the things that we'll do in the third hour from time to time is stupidity. Riffmobile. No, people are saying they finally logged on to Riff on Reddit after my new phone. No, the Riffmobile. Okay. Does anyone remember Parks and Rec Movie Bus and the Riffmobile? No. Okay. They killed Riff, and I stopped going there entirely on mobile. Oh, that's a different thing. The history of the Riff organization. Okay, Reading is Fundamental. Riffmobile. Reading is Fundamental Pittsburgh. They still have Riff. Okay, Reading. Let me put Reading is Fundamental. Isn't that crazy, Bino, that Riff no longer means Reading is Fundamental? I used to, when we would go to wrestling, Bino, especially in the Smoky Mountain days, I used to tell Cornette that he could get a sponsorship from Riff for that. He used to shake his head at me. All right.
Things changed, Tony. What was a GOAT in my day is now the greatest of all time.
Riff.org is Literacy Central. Literacy Central, Riff.org. No, Bino, I don't think we have a Riffmobile anymore. Damn it. There's all kinds of videos. The Storymobile. If anybody's seen it, let me know, because I really do need you to stop, pull them over, look in the sports section, and see if you can find Nico's playbook. That's a pretty good line, Bino. I mean, that's really,
I like it.
It's really off color and idiotic, but let me remind you, tonight my Flyers are back in action, and I am smoking hot in my hockey bets. Now, I might have been the only guy in Knoxville that had a TV on the other night when my Flyers came from behind to beat the Minnesota Wild, but I was pretty pumped. I like Dave comparing the breaking news that this guy's not as good as neither Tony Vitello nor Rick Barnes, Bino. No shit, Sherlock, really?
Yeah.
I mean, you're kidding, right? You're kidding, right, Dave? That's breaking news, Dave.
Yeah, and Tony, you're the third best looking between Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and yourself.
Screw those guys. That George Clooney looks like a damn cyborg. Me rocking this bald head.
I couldn't come up with any other actors.
Hey,
Tony.
listen. Me rocking this bald head right now with a little tan I have. Me and Tony Vitello side by side. The women are all going to pause when I walk into that room. Brah. Tony Vitello. Hey. Shit. He couldn't carry a candle to me. Shit. You think there's ever been a read like this in the history of the world for VIP play? You think when they read my stuff, they go, what in the world's wrong with him?
How did Riff get in here? What are we doing?
I'll tell you one thing. At Will Heflin, I might get the coordinates to his house and send Riff over to his place after his showing on Saturday night. Ladies and gentlemen, VIP play, you can go claim your welcome bonus right now. Everybody gets treated like a VIP. And I've been like betting the Flyers and having fun, and I'm kind of hot right now because they're okay. I mean, they're not like dreadful, which means, I'm pushing money back and forth across the table, but I'm entertained, VIP play, you get your welcome bonus. Make about $20, you get $100 in bonus bets right now. Promo code and the phrase it pays is TN Tony. TN Tony. Live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types. Got all kinds of props, all kinds of options. Got a doubleheader in the NFL tonight. Got a Game 7 in Major League Baseball. Bino, if you're playing the money line, who you on?
I'm on the Jays tonight.
Because they're home or because the Mariners have that history? Or a little bit of everything?
Because they're the better baseball team.
Are you on the Flyers or the Kraken tonight, Bino? Jerry Colquitt's
Kraken. I'm a big Kraken guy. They're smoking. I'm on the Kraken.
Yeah, with some of your takes, Bino, you and Dave are probably hitting the pipe. 200 leagues, live always, numerous bet types and props and options, you name it. VIP, everybody gets treated like a VIP at VIP play. There's nothing they won't do for you, VIP play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in our great state of Tennessee to place a bet. Bino, what's the number in the Kentucky game?
I believe Tennessee is a 9.5-point favorite.
If I forced you to bet that right now, what would you bet on this Monday morning / afternoon?
I mean, if you force me to bet it, it's Tennessee, Kentucky. I'm playing Tennessee.
To cover the spread?
To cover the spread, yes.
Oh, I don't know, man. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't know that we're sound enough on the road to blow somebody out.
And they're pretty good defensively. They're pretty good defensively, but, history says we're going to do what we want to do there. We'll see.
Hey, Bino,
I think it's a dangerous spot on the schedule for sure where it lands.
If that Kentucky kid is hitting deep middle shots on you in the middle of the field, you're in trouble. If you get on the field next year with Arch Manning and he's hitting deep middle shots on you in the middle of the field, you're in trouble. Bino, do you think Arch Manning's going to be the quarterback of Texas next year, or do you think they're going to encourage him and his Warby Parkers to go on down the road? Because he had like 100 yards passing in the middle of the fourth quarter the other night. I don't know if that's what they signed up for, and they've invested a lot of money in him.
Yeah. I'm going to say he's going to be there, Tony. I'm not sure he would if his name was anything other than Manning.
Weird deal, isn't it?
It is. Hey, Tony, I love BIP. Started on that several months ago. I didn't notice over the last 3 weeks, my balance has gone way down. Have Will check on that for me, if you will.
Back to the phones we go. Hey, you know what? Will's got the keys. He might be able to go in there and pump a little, what we call it, Bino? What did Peter Poker say? You could call Will tonight and go, you're a very smart man. See how that works for you, Bino. Let's get our next call in on a TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime. Hi.
Hey, what's up, guys? Josh.
Hey, Wingo.
Hey. How are you doing today, Bino?
We're good, Joshy. Thank you, sir. Hope you are.
I'm good, thanks. So, I'm going to kind of disagree with Taylor. I thought Colombo had a really great call today.
All right.
He's always sharp like he always is on his calls when he's not talking about Hugh Freeze.
Yep, the Lumbo can get very distracted by his pet whipping boy.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off on what Mark said Saturday night when he called in. I just don't think we have SEC players on defense, unfortunately.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out on Saturday night, because if that Kentucky team's moving the ball up and down the field on you, Beanstar, Houston, we're going to have us a problem. You think people were mad on this post-game show? Goodness. Let Kentucky score 25 on us. Win, lose, or draw, Bino. Good night. Arkansas is one thing. That Kentucky bunch.
Tony, I get it that McCoy and Gibson are out for the season, and we've all been wondering when they're going to come back, but it's literally next man up, what the saying is. Next man up.
Yep.
And our cornerback play has actually been better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, the corners
obviously we need.
Yeah.
It has been.
Corners aren't the problem, linebackers and those safeties, that middle of that field. And Matt said it best. That Simpson guy was moving our people around with his eyes the other night. He was so veteran, so in control. And he's playing behind an offensive line that can't protect him except against us. What happened to our pass rush, Bino? What happened to the hurries
That
and
I don't
hits?
know. That was puzzling the other night, that we didn't get more pressure on him.
Yeah, it really is. So, Tony, what are your and Bino's thoughts on the really good start Georgia Tech has had this year? I know that their schedule has not been really good besides that Clemson win, but what do you guys think about their undefeated start?
Yeah, you got to give it to them, man. You absolutely have to give it to them. I think they're well coached. I think they're scary from that perspective. They're on the schedule next year. They do not. They do not. They do not.
They don't beat themselves that much.
No, and look, they're playing in a league where if you play the way they play, which is to say, ask your quarterback to run the ball a few times, and go for it. Bino, are you a member of the Fifth Mobile? Are you for the Fifth Mobile? But go ahead, I'm sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
Yeah, the main reason why I want to talk about them, Tony, is because I played them at a really good number before the season started at 12-1 to win the ACC. And I bet's not looking too bad. I think they can get to the championship game.
They're going to get to the championship game. You might be able to buy out of that thing, man, on the prop swap or whatever. You know, some of those sites.
I think I'm going to keep that ticket and let it ride, probably.
Well, who would they play in the championship game, right?
Well, I was looking at the conference records. Both Virginia and SMU are currently undefeated right now, and Miami is just 1-1 in the conference. They've just played 2 games so far.
Joshy, I think they've done a great job with that program. I think it's on solid footing. I do think that they've benefited from the schedule that they've played.
Right.
And I think for your bet, you need somehow for Miami to get boxed out of that championship game, because I think Georgia Tech beats anyone else. I don't believe they beat Miami in a championship game.
Yeah, Miami's got a big one at SMU next Saturday, Bino. It's going to be a big game.
I'd be looking in. You and I have talked about this. I'd be looking into those ACC tiebreakers, because several of those teams don't play each other. They're going to be up there toward the top and jam together. So
Miami's locked out, though, Bino, right now. Miami is stone cold locked out of that championship game. They need some people to lose, which is probably not good for us if we come in at 10-2, because that's going to be a bid stealer or somebody. It's going to steal a bid from somebody.
Tony, I'm going to be honest. After that second drive, the 99-yard drive in the second half by Alabama, I just changed the channel and turned it on Notre Dame USC game. That was a very interesting game until Notre Dame ran away, and I kind of flipped back towards the end of our game and just called it quits after that. You know?
We had a call from Madison. No, it wasn't Madison. The fellow in Nashville, Sam in Nashville,
Music City Sam,
who drove down there, and he said goodbye to his friends and goodbye to the Bama fans he was around and left.
Yeah, I heard him.
And instead of listening to the game, coming back, and then listen to us on the way on the rest of the road back. And hey, man, Bino, you see enough football, you are not winning that game in that second half. You're just not. Once that happens in a game like that, you're just not winning. You have to throw a perfect game, Bino, to get home from there with a victory, don't you?
Yeah, the minute the play happened, I told Sheeno that you just don't overcome that.
No.
That's just something you just don't overcome.
You might overcome like a 20-point deficit in college basketball every once in a while, something like that. Football is a kind of sport, though. You get 99 yards going the other way, you're not winning that game, especially against a team that's better than you anyway.
Tony, because in like football games, like momentum killers, when like your team's going to win or lose.
That's right.
Yeah. Guys, I'll leave you with this out the door. We still have everything in front of us to win out. We just got to win this Saturday and win a big game against Oklahoma at home and hopefully get a gorilla off our back like Brother Bino said. So, negative, try to stay positive. We can still make the playoffs. Please don't live in a dark place. See ya.
What sage advice from Joshy boy. What a great place to end on. We don't need negative. Bino, should we stay on for another hour and take some more calls, or do you think I should go get a nap after being up till 4 in the morning on Sunday? Where are you on that?
Tony, you're more than welcome to stay on another hour. I hope it's a great one.
Bino, are you ready for the Cutter Boley experiment from Kentucky? They're a local quarterback that this has fallen to. Cutter Boley.
That's a cool name, I'll tell you that.
No question. Cutter Boley. It reminds me of Billy Jack Haskins back in the day.
Yep.
Remember old Billy Jack?
I remember Billy Jack Haskins.
Cutter Boley. What's that name sound like? Cutter Boley. Sounds like a...
Sounds more linebacker than it does quarterback, but it's still a cool name.
It's a very... Not nice to yawn in front of your friends. Cool name. But I'm yawning, Bino, which can only mean one thing.
It's time to go.
It's time for me to get some beauty rest, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank my friends at TLD Logistics. We've done an hour of extra time after doing a 5-hour Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction extravaganza over the weekend. Staying up to the wee small hours of the morning. That is our commitment to you. In the meantime, I love, hey, Bino, Jeff, give me a final thought. And will I see you again, 3 degrees, down at Calhoun's on Friday, 3 degrees?
Absolutely. See you at Calhoun's on Friday.
Yep.
Let's go to Lexington and get this spit this bad taste out of our mouth. And Tony B, I hope you stay. If you decide to go, I wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you, Bino. I think I will stay. Oh, Tony V. Hey, Bino, on
Tony
the way.
V.
Sorry, on the way out. Any chance you come in here Sunday and do our Garza Law basketball extravaganza that you've committed me to?
I appreciate it, Tony. It's been a great show. See you.
Thank you, Bino. See, that's what we do. Did you hear him hang up there? That's what we do. That's what I'm going to get today. I'm going to end up working that damn Duke game. Check us out over on YouTube. Several people have found it. We had several hundred people in our YouTube room today at one time, which is pretty cool. We're now over 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. Everybody listening to the sound of my voice needs to go over there and subscribe to us over there. It helps the show grow. And if you'll like and subscribe, it really helps the show grow. So those of you that consume the program that way, Seems to be a very fun community of people that like to interact with each other as well. And Dave just popped in there a second ago and said, Tony, I'm not cheering against Kentucky. Stop it. Dave, I'm sorry. It's just a tired me talking, buddy. Just a tired me talking. You know, Dave, that I've always said that you're a living Vol fan. I don't mean to act like a dick. I'm just exhausted. I guess. Is that what I am? I don't know. Till we meet again, I appreciate you. Thank you for being there. We love you. God bless. G to the B to the O. Thank you to Bino for working on Sunday. Thank you, Bino. Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes, my name is Basilio. I love you. I appreciate you. If news breaks out, we'll break in on Tony Vols. He better not do anything today because I'm damn fried. And he will urinate me off. And Tony, what do you think is going to happen with Tony Vitello? I have zero idea. I don't know. I do know that if you read tclub.team today, you'll see that old Dr. Danny's got to be, I think he's wishing Tony would go, but I don't think he's going to want to deal with the blowback of it. Here we go. Coming back to you. And by the way, if Tony leaves, it won't be Dr. Danny's doing. It'll be Tony's doing. Love you. Appreciate you. Do 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 do. Bum 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 bum. Doodle do. The key of C. He bum 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 ba do 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 do. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum, bum.
FM 105.7.
Or is that E flat? That's E flat right there. I'm sorry.
WKGN Knoxville. And W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Let's get this thing going. Let's get this party. Let's get this party started up in here. Let's get this party started. Tony B, welcome you to another edition. I'd encourage you to go read the blog over at tclub.team. I lay out my what I think's going on with the Tony Vitello situation as best I can. And just one caveat to the Tony Vols thing, which I don't really want to get into today on the air because there's really not much to talk about. Till he either takes that thing or doesn't take that thing, which I'm not sure it's 100% that he's going to take it. And I'm not sure it's 100% he's not. So happy Monday to you and me.